I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big
What's up, JFW family? Welcome back to the Channel 23 podcast. The purpose of this podcast is to reach out and touch the fleet, to engage and inform everyone with all things JFW. In the studio today, we have the regulars, Jim White, Brother Dave White, and Super Dave. Good morning, men.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning, Fleet.
Everybody.
It's time.
Happy one day early to America. Happy birthday to America.
Yeah. Happy early birthday, America.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that. Well, speaking of America and its birthday, if you're driving around, walking on a treadmill, wherever you're at, if you're feeling patriotic, it's time to say the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Feels a little different today.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
Feels good.
It
always feels good.
It was really nice because we went to the Planning Commission hearing last night, and they did it before the hearing.
Oh, nice.
And I was surprised.
We didn't talk about it. I was totally caught off guard.
Me
I was
too,
like,
Dave.
wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
wow.
it felt good.
Because I've been to a lot
They don't
of.
normally do it?
I don't know, Dave. Has
I mean,
that,
it must be a thing.
been removed from
Yeah.
government? I hope they do it every time, Dave. It felt good.
They should.
Absolutely. Before we get into the truck of prayer, we have a couple of our teammates, our family members got injured this past week. Chili Dog, he's out with a broken, they say knee, I'm saying leg.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say you broke your knee.
Yeah,
But
I had
it's
to
like,
Google,
what?
look at, did you break your kneecap,
Yeah.
your patella,
Yeah.
right? But then I saw an X-ray. I'm like, oh, he broke his leg,
Yeah.
right behind his kneecap.
They're
Yeah.
they're putting a plate in his kneecap today.
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got 4 pins or 4 rods so far. Pins, yeah.
Because I didn't see it totally, Jam, but it is the fibia that they run the rod in if you'd have a knee replacement, or was it the tibia?
It's the tibia.
The tip
big
of the
one.
tibia.
The big one is the tibia, I believe.
Oh, I thought it was the fibia. Either way, but it is the big one that they run the rod in if you had a knee replacement, right? The very top of it. Yeah.
The plateau.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, right underneath your femur behind the kneecap. Yeah. It doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And then Coleman, he, was Evel Knievel over last weekend and did a jump. My understanding is he missed the landing.
Oh.
Whatever. Shit went south, and his shoulder was behind him.
You know, it's never the jump that'll kill you. It's always the landing.
Oh, totally. We've all watched
You can jump out of
Evil crash.
Yeah, you can jump out of a perfectly good building and be just fine until you land.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I told Coleman, I says, man, I hope you were winning when you crashed.
He said he was in first.
He was. He was.
Yeah.
I said, because if you're
I was
riding
one-
that hard and you crashed and you were in last place, you better give it up, buddy.
I was winning.
I was winning.
Yeah.
I know I saw Coleman, obviously, and he was in good spirits. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
talked to Chili Dog, and he was like, you thought he was home, like, making dinner. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
in
Same
such
Chili Dog.
jovial, joking spirits. And I'm like, you must be on some really good drugs.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, because it's no big, it is what it is.
Huh.
You know, I mean, he was just in really good spirits. A lot of people would be so down and so distraught, and he was like, hey, I'll get through it.
He'll rock it and be back.
He'll rally,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
My understanding is it's a JFW on JFW crime as well.
It is.
My understanding too. And boy, there was a little bit of a horror story for the drive after the injury.
Oh, I haven't heard anything about that. Do
Oh
tell.
man, Chili
let's hear
filled
it.
me in, and
Let's
so
hear it.
the JFW on JFW crime happened in Brighton at an undisclosed driver's location in his yard.
Oh.
Or park. I take it back. It was at a park that they were having a little get together at. And anyway, so they were in Brighton. Well, when he got hurt, I mean, there was a woman there at the party that was like, "Oh, it's just a muscle," and she ran out and she grabbed his leg and actually chest folded it like 6 times to work the muscle out. And I'm like,
What the
oh
heck?
my God. I mean, I said, "Were you crying?
Right.
Were you in tears?" And he's like, "My wife and daughter were there. I never shed a tear."
It was just a hairline fracture, and she broke it.
Right. So anyway, that was in Brighton. So they get on the phone like, "We need to go to the doctor." They were looking for an urgent care that could take X-ray. So they're kind of searching around, and I never did hear where they found the urgent care. But when they got to the urgent care, they did the X-ray, and he said the woman that did the X-ray went and got the big boss, and he said like the door was kind of propped open, or anyway, he heard the big boss talking to her like, "Oh, that's broken." And he was like, "Oh, damn." So they got in the car and they left whatever urgent care they were at, but they drove all the way to St. Anthony's in Lakewood.
What?
Yeah, at 6th Avenue and Wadsworth. I mean, my wife works right by there at the Federal Center, so I know exactly where it's at. They don't take our insurance, so then they sent him to Swedish. So, I mean, you guys, I would tell you, after the injury, he had to have an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Wait, who doesn't take Cigna?
Apparently St. Anthony's, I guess,
Most
Jim.
ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I'm just going off what he told me.
It's an
I
emergency
didn't fact
room.
check it. So
Well, isn't it
clearly
true
it
that
wasn't that big of an emergency because they just got in the car and kept driving around from location to
Yeah, I guess.
location. Which again, you're like, what? You know what I mean? I'd be
But
crying like a little girl. Like,
isn't-
take me here.
Isn't
If you don't
the
take me,
emergency
you better shoot
room
me and put me
a
out of
different
my
deal,
misery.
though? You go to an emergency room and they take any insurance, maybe not coverage, but they'll take like 80%, right? Because it's an emergency. If you are having an emergency, you don't just say, "Well, I've got to drive down to Lakewood."
Well, Dave, I'll just ask, what dictates an emergency?
Broken tibial
Yeah, I would say a
plateau.
broken leg would be an emergency.
Well, is a heart attack more?
Yeah.
It's a different category. That's apples and oranges, buddy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. That's life ending.
Yeah.
This wasn't a life-ending
So
emergency.
if I fell
right?
and hit my head, but I'm not bleeding, but I have a concussion, that's still an emergency.
Yeah, that, especially, not calling you old, but because you're older. that's an automatic trauma alert.
Yeah, see, trauma.
I'd be like, "You'll be fine."
Is that a paramedic term, Jam? Trauma?
It's a medical term, but it's pretty common. Trauma is trauma.
Oh, my wife and I got in a fight last night. Man, it was a trauma.
Could have been traumatic.
Oh man, this is going to be quite the podcast.
Already is. On good news, though, and I put this down a little further, but since we're talking about people going to the hospital, Megan Rendon is home from her surgery.
Oh, nice.
Wow, great.
So,
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll went well. Well, if she's home, it looks like it went well.
Right?
Oh,
Yes.
Didn't go bad. She's at home. So wishing you the best, Megan. Father God, we thank you for the opportunity to go out and do some trucking today. We pray for the safety of our fleet, all of their families, and all the other families and individuals we come across on the road today. We pray for the patience and the making of good, safe decisions. We pray to be accident-free and that we all make it back to the comfort of our homes this evening. We pray for healing and 100% recovery for all of our family members that are ill. No matter what, we trust you, God. It's in Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Speaking of trauma, I should have added this in, but my wife had an accident with the hedge trimmer, and she did a number on her finger. It is pretty traumatic.
I would call that a trauma, for
It
sure.
is trauma, yeah. So prayers for her, too. As a reminder, anything you hear on today's podcast is not the opinion of JFW's. It's just the men in this room's expressed opinion mixed with unchecked facts.
I think it's expert expressed opinion.
Okay.
Mixed with some maybe not so true facts.
Yeah. We make it up as we go. Don't sue us. Episode 138, the Jeff Turner episode. Thanks again for coming on, Jeff.
Yep.
At 324 downloads, we are at 76.1 thousand downloads, and we picked up 2 followers. We are at 594 followers.
Very cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's time for the Dad Joke Challenge. Anybody want to go first?
I can go because I have some news that the Guinness Book of World Records wanted proof that I broke the world record for being constipated the longest.
Ouch.
Yeah, I have solid evidence, and I kept log.
Nothing better than poop jokes.
Wow. Talk about a trauma.
That's psychological trauma right there.
Right? Oh, I would bet he'd have a little bit of physical trauma with it as well.
There could be some injury. You never know.
No, but if he kept the log, there's some
That's what I was going to say.
There's some traumatic stress.
Well, I've got 2. You guys are going to have to bear with me because I totally made the first one up. But we had our neighbors over last Friday night, and
This one cracks you up.
it cracks me up. It doesn't matter about anyone else. And anyway, they're kind of wine connoisseurs, and we didn't really have any at the house, so I ran by the liquor store there. Yeah, Friday, it was a madhouse at the liquor store. I mean, I could barely get in. I didn't know if they were having some type of event or what. There was a line going in, a line going out. You couldn't get down the aisles. And then it dawned on me it was all the Democrats drowning their sorrows after the debate.
Wow.
Well, we're going to have dueling political jokes, Dave.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
I have one more to try and save myself.
Okay, go ahead and bring up the bar.
I was, we had, we'll talk about it later on in the podcast. A lot of people may not know, but we had our planning commission hearing last night. And I was just talking to Jim on the way over there, and I said, I'm really trying to move up here at JFW and do better. And Jim's like, well, you really need to dress for the job you want, not the job you have. So that's why I'm in my Batman costume today.
I thought you looked different. Your voice was deeper.
Oh man, I love the way Super Dave said, "Bring up the bar." I thought we were at the liquor store.
All right. Well, tell me what you think about this one here. So, how are politicians like diapers?
Can we say they're always full of shit?
Close. They both need to be changed regularly and for the same reason.
Nice.
There we go.
Love it.
Yeah, I have a weird fact that they took 2 groups of kids and they gave them a situation where they had to run or jump or skip or anything like that. And the one group of kids, they gave them the assignment, they went out and did it. And the next group of kids, they all gave them capes. And that group of kids was able to do every assignment 30% longer just because they had a cape and believed in themselves.
Wow.
So
I
you're
can
30%
see that,
faster,
Jim.
you mean?
just longer, faster, Dave. Like it was 10
Oh,
jumping jacks.
gotcha.
They were able to do whatever 10%,
Yeah.
30% more
Yeah.
jumping jacks.
Sure, gotcha.
Just because they wore a cape. And
Well,
they
they-
didn't say anything to them. They just gave them a cape.
Were they able to fly further?
Yeah.
It's the only landing you have to worry about.
Yeah. So I got another good one here too. So, what's the most unfair thing about American politics?
I don't know.
I don't know, Dave.
Yeah, you'll agree too. We get 50 choices for Miss America, but only 2 for the president.
I've been saying that forever, Dave.
Man, that ain't fair.
So my jokes are in honor of Chili Dog. So the other day, I went to the doctor. I told him I broke my leg in 3 places. He said, I suggest you don't go to those places anymore. No more kickball for you, Chili Dog. But don't worry, it's going to be okay.
To be okay.
To be okay.
Oh, man.
Bada boom.
When he first did that, Jam, I tried to come up with something with Chili Dog, like a you missed the onions on your chili dog or something, something that would work with that. But I couldn't come up with anything. No beans in the chili for you anymore or something.
Right. No new employees this week, but we do have a lot of celebrations. Anniversaries: Jason Gamage hit 5 years on the 1st, and Dwayne Sanders hitting 8 years on Friday the 5th.
Congratulations, you guys.
no
Way to
doubt.
go, you guys.
Couple silent warriors right there.
Yep.
Just get it done every day.
Who is Jason Gamage?
The damage gamage.
Birthdays: Lexi Brown had a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Lexi. Fred Powell, he has a birthday today. Sam White and Russ Murphy and Fabio De Gaetano have birthdays tomorrow on the 4th of July. Francisco Alvarez has a birthday this Saturday. Happy birthday, everybody.
Yeah, happy
Happy birthday, everybody.
Yep.
Lots of people.
Family birthday celebrations. Veronica's daughter, Serenity, had a birthday this past Sunday, along with Nat Bisignano's daughter, Luciano, had her very first birthday this past Sunday as well.
Congratulations.
And he's got another one right around the corner,
Got
too, on the
another
way.
one coming.
Yeah.
He went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yep.
Yep. But, man, I hadn't talked to Nat in a long time, and we had about a 15-minute conversation the other day. I just love his story and the family he's building, and yeah, he's just, living the dream, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, he bought a house this year.
Yep. Good dude.
Good stuff.
Painted it himself with some help of his family. So, Chris Bortz, she had a birthday Monday, the 1st.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Happy birthday, Chris.
Yep.
Miss seeing you when we watch the band.
What?
Huh? So her brother is in a band. He's been in several bands.
Oh, gotcha.
I went to school. Both Mikey and I went to school with him.
Oh, gotcha.
So yeah,
Yeah, private.
we would see her at some parties.
Very cool. Carolina Areola, that is Veronica's daughter. She had a birthday today. My wife Ace, she has a birthday today. We've been celebrating all weekend. And Tillia Barnes has a birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, everybody.
Lots of birthdays.
Yeah.
Happy
Yep.
birthday, everybody.
Yep, October was busy.
If this was Blinky's Fun Club, half the show would be birthday celebrations.
Exactly. That's the whole outline is. But we got a lot of feedback on the birthday celebrations too. We got a message from Tillia Barnes. I received the email from her. It says, "Hello, JFW family. I wanted to thank you for the birthday card signed by a lot of you. JFW talks about family first, but they also show that in their actions. Most companies do not recognize spouses or children, but JFW does, and it truly sets you apart from all the rest. Our husbands and dads spend as much time with you as they do with us, hence family. So again, thank you for the little things that mean more than you know. So glad to be a part of the JFW extended family. Also, my name is Tillia, and she spelt it phonetically, like till you hear from me the next time. Wife of Steve Barnes, daughter of Anthony Harper."
Happy birthday.
Yep.
And-
She's got to be tough.
Right?
She got to be a
Right?
tough
She's got to
one.
be tough.
Yep.
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 And then Manny Velasquez hit me up with a message from Felipe Velasquez. It says, "Good morning, Jam. Hope all is well. Felipe wants to say thank you to the JFW family for the birthday card. When he went to check the mail, he came back running, all excited, saying, 'Dad, look, JFW sent me a birthday card with a gift card to Amazon.' He said, 'Wow, Dad, they remembered my birthday.' So on behalf of the Velasquez family, we greatly appreciate it, and Felipe is very thankful for his gift. Much love and respect, the Velasquez family."
That's awesome.
Yeah. Happy birthday again, everybody.
Yep.
Had lots of them there.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Felipe seems like a great kid when we met him a couple weeks ago when Manny stopped by.
Yep. Finally got my football card signed by him. I don't know if you
Nice.
saw that.
Well, no, Jam, I didn't see the card, but
Yeah.
I think it's been talked about before.
Yeah, he finally showed his face. I was like,
Nice.
I need a signature. That thing's going to be worth millions of dollars one day.
I bet. I bet.
All right, shout outs. This comes from Dispatch.
Now, wait a minute. He plays soccer. Are we
Felipe?
talking football?
Flag football.
Okay.
I have a flag football card for him.
Okay. All right.
And he plays soccer. He was about
Yes.
to start to play soccer or tried out for the team.
Made the team.
Yep.
Travel
Manny,
team.
Manny was excited. Yep.
Yep.
And so was he.
Yep.
Sweet.
Multi-sport. That's the best.
Linda said she had a guy call in. Turns out to be David Kidd's son. This was on Thursday to say a driver in 0073 is a well-mannered, safe driver. He was leaving big gaps between trucks and driving great. Says he should get $1 raise. LOL. 73, I believe that's Gabe Colmenero.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Nice
Yeah,
job,
nice.
Gabe.
Good job, Gabe.
Yeah, way to go, Gabe.
And wants to give a shout out to the office team, including Joanne, Amber, Kathy, and Jim. Thanks for covering me while I was out on vacation. Really appreciate the help and was able to be offline and not worry at all. Man, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Yep. Good stuff there.
I did have one more shout out for my buddy Timmy D. Today is his 13-year sobriety date. He's been sober for 13 years.
Congratulations.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
awesome.
That
That's
is
amazing,
huge.
man.
That's amazing.
Yep. So great job, Tim.
I hear that's still one day at a time.
Oh yeah, he he lives today.
Right.
And I'm going to talk about this at the end of the podcast, but you got to be present. You got to be grounded in the moment.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Good for
you know,
him.
every day is a blessing. Is
Yeah.
the way he looks at it, and
Toughest day is today.
toughest days today.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's also been on a fitness journey. I've been coaching him up, and it's been interesting. So
Good.
Yeah, because you guys know there's 2 days a year you can't do anything about, right?
yesterday and tomorrow.
Yesterday and tomorrow.
I like that, and that's when we get to my final thoughts. It's going to be all about that.
Man, it's going to be a long final thoughts. I
all-
can't wait to get there.
All 30 seconds of my final thoughts. Jim, you want to talk about the 4th of July and what it means?
Yeah, Jam, I threw that out there to have you put it in here, and I know you wrote in here, the 4th of July celebrates the passage of the Declaration of Independence by the Continental Congress on July 4, 1776. The Declaration announced the political separation of the 13 North American colonies from Great Britain, and I'll mention that it is tomorrow, but I did research some more stuff, and it's actually the Declaration, but I'd like to use it for my closing thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So
Great.
if we'll wait a little bit, but yeah, happy 4th to everybody. I'm sure we'll say it again, but I hope everybody has a good day tomorrow and enjoys the family. And again, it's, all these holidays, they have another meaning, and it's not always about the hot dogs and hamburgers. We should be proud of where we live
Right.
and celebrate the freedoms we have.
Yeah, I got a funny history piece of trivia about that. I read this little blurb on history every day. At lunch I get it emailed. And anyway, so they're talking about the Declaration right now because we're coming up to the 4th. All of the delegates from the 13 colonies kind of looked at Thomas Jefferson and said, "Hey, you're the best writer. Write this thing up for us, would you?" They didn't vote or anything. They just said, "Dude, you're the best writer. You need to write this." And
That's
he-
what would happen here,
and he
Dave.
did, yeah.
I need you to write the Declaration.
Yeah.
And look how it came out, man. It was awesome. The dude can write, right?
And then we'd all look at each other. We'll sign it.
Dave, you want to write that memo of conversation, or should I? I think you should. I'll sign off on it.
I tell you what, there's no
That's true.
Back then, there was no delete, there was no eraser, there was no
Right?
Right. When you screwed that up, you were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god!"
You got to
Give
start
me,
over.
right?
Give me a new scroll.
Yes.
That's great.
Yeah, I wonder how many times he had to copy it over.
Oh my gosh! I mean, when you think about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother Dave, do you want to talk about, I know you said you had you called it a blurb from Omar Reyes. I wonder if he knew he was writing you a blurb.
I do, but I got a couple shout outs first.
Oh, let's get it.
So I wanted to give shout outs to my neighbors, Rob and Chris, the Kaplans. Number one, they're just awesome neighbors, but they have recently started listening to the podcast as well. And Chris, we have a group chat going between the four of us. And Chris was down on South Santa Fe yesterday, and she said, I was sitting in the turn lane, and there went this big, bright, shiny red truck. And then I saw Channel 23 podcast on the tailgate. I don't know, just kind of made me feel good. And then I know you mentioned him at the beginning for last week's guest, but I thought Jeff Turner did a great job last week. It was good to have a safety guest and another point of view for safety and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
On here, so
I know we told him at the end, but I hope he comes back.
yeah,
You know,
I hope
just
so,
spend
too.
some time. It'll be nice
Yeah,
to have
yeah.
another voice on here.
You could tell. I mean, he was like your friend when we had him on Jam. The name's
Todd.
Todd
Todd
Zielinski.
Zielinski. Yeah, there are people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You bump into people, and when you're comfortable and you're just like spilling your guts talking about current affairs and this and that, and you share that passion, they're your people. You know what I mean? And I guess these people are our people.
Yeah.
I guess I feel like that. You know, I met a guy that owns Silver Crown Fertilizer. He just came by to look at some trailers, and their family's been in business for 40 years, and we kind of have a common story, you know, in the background. And I told him about that truck that they bought. It was a 1984 Ford LTL 9000, and before they purchased it, we were going to Truck Fest up at Bandimere, and we bought so many Ford trucks at the time. Dad was like, hey, we need another truck so I can drive one. And they just gave us a brand new truck, and it was their truck. And as a little kid, I rode in it down the track in the passenger seat as Dad was racing it. And I think he got second that year drag racing.
He did driving the Silver Crown LTL.
Yeah. I think when Silver Crown bought it from Ford, Ford was like, this truck runs really good. So anyway, you know, just chatting with him, he's just our people. You know what I mean? He gets it. The current affairs, the state we're in, and life and generations and people and hard work. And it's a pleasure to run into people like that and talk to people like that just aren't, hey, the government's not doing anything for me. And they like, where's my money?
I thought it was great talking to Jeff, because even though he works for a whole different company in kind of a different business, I mean, yes, they have trucks and everything, but they're in the paving business, right?
Similar, but yet different.
But yet the
right,
struggles are the same,
right?
You know, the people, the trucks, the equipment, the supply and demand, and I mean, all of the same things that we face every day.
I loved the similarities.
cool.
I mean, we've chosen the words together, right? And we try and just talk about being together. And his together is the wolf pack.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Diamond Dogs.
So anyway, that was what I got for shout outs.
Before I got one more shout out. It's
right.
hot off the press.
Hot off the presses.
It just came in via Facebook
Saw you
Messenger.
looking at your phone. I'm like, gosh, I'm pouring jam. No.
And this is from this is from Brenda Alvarez, Francisco Alvarez's wife. Good morning. Hopefully it's not too late. Weird smiley face, and hopefully this is okay. Saturday is Francisco's birthday. Woohoo! I just wanted to give him a quick birthday shout out on the podcast, letting him know happy birthday from our kids and I. We are so thankful and happy to be celebrating another one, and may there be so many more.
Oh,
man, that's just that.
Doesn't that touch your heart?
Matt tears me up.
Right, me too.
I mean, that she cares that much, and I'm glad you were looking at your phone, Jim.
Yep. Yeah, so
I
awesome.
usually do.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I had two quick shout outs, and I'm sure the shout outs, they probably will never hear it, but I wanted to bring up, Dave, that Kathleen Turner, I should have looked at her title last night, but she's a contact at the Commerce City in the planning department, and she's just recently with Commerce City, and she made the remark last night that she understood the reputation that Commerce City has, and on helping anybody get through the planning, and she wants to make a difference and change that. And it's been amazing working with her. She's responsive to emails. She gets it, but kind of like you mentioned, Dave, she's our people.
Right.
She understood. And then, it kind of goes in a roundabout to the drivers and the wash bay and stuff like this. But the gentleman we're going to be using to build our building, Drew Fleetmeyer, had his new son-in-law in town yesterday, and he lives in the Springs, and they were coming up, and his son-in-law asked him, hey, what are you doing? And
what projects?
What projects? And he's like, oh, I'm working on this, and I'm doing this, and then we're really close with JFW. They have a trucking company, and his son was like, oh, what kind of trucks? And Drew was like, oh, big red shiny trucks. And Drew was like, and I think Drew, when he told the story, he was kind of just joking. He was like, you'll see one. You'll see one.
Yeah, and he said, when you see one,
you'll see it.
You'll see them all over.
Exactly. And Drew said it wasn't like 5 minutes. And he goes, right there's one. And then they were over on Santa Fe. Oh, there's one. There's another one. And then there was another one. So, yeah, thanks, Drew, for paying attention and giving us a shout out.
Drew's an awesome guy.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
really
But
is.
again, that's what
Our
my
people.
point. He's our people.
Yeah.
And that's good.
That was something you bring that up. We're kind of stumbling through stuff here, Jim, but being at that, we had our engineer that's been working on all of the,
Ed,
I guess I'll
Ed
say
Jennings.
statistics, but all the engineering that we need for all the contours of the land and the building height. And I mean, he's done everything and presented everything to the city. When the city has a question, Ed answers it and and whatnot. And he's done a wonderful job. And it was funny. He was supposed to give the presentation last night.
He was.
And Kathleen, one of the that Jim mentioned, Kathleen Turner, one of the planners, she comes up and she's like, "Hey," actually, she called me earlier in the day and she said, "We're going to change things up a little bit." She said, "We're going to have you two, or will one of you talk about the project?" And then the city planner gets up and they go through all the detail of it, meaning like we're taking these 7 lots and they need to be into one lot and it all needs to be the same zone and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, Kathleen presented it. She
Yes,
ended up being
she's
the presenter.
the planner.
Yep.
But Ed was originally supposed to present it, and as it turned out, we did such a good job. They just rolled to her, and she did the explained to the planning commissioners, "This is what we're doing." Ed never did a thing. Ed didn't even have to be there last night, and he's the one written on the billboard at the end of the street on Forest, like Ed Jennings will be presenting for JFW. And it was kind of funny. He brought up after the meeting, because I joked with him and I was like, "God, Ed, you did a great job presenting." And he kind of laughed and he goes, because we brought up some things about, the technology we use in the trucks and the less fuel we use compared to older trucks. We're so much more fuel efficient, and our idle shutoffs, and just how we're trying to attack climate change, because that's ultimately what they want to hear, right? And we do it because it's money savings, and of course we get the cross benefit that it's climate saving. And Ed brought up, and it didn't occur to me until you mentioned wash bay, Jim. He said, "You also need to say those trucks are washed every night." He said, "I never see a dirty one." So he said, "They're not out there polluting the area. They don't have dirt falling off of them, dripping on the road, and oil and all that." He goes, "They're spotless clean all the time." Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah,
Anyway.
a lot of good points. We learned a lot of different things
yes,
last night.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure. Omar Reyes?
I'm all right.
All right, on to the discussion. We're done with shout-outs. Even though this is borderline kind of a shout-out, but it's because of a shout-out last week because of Omar's anniversary, right? So I brought up, I don't know whether all of you have met him. If you haven't, I suggest you introduce yourself to Omar Reyes. He drives 0052, and he and I have been in contact via text a couple times. And when he hit his 1-year anniversary last week, I really made a point. This is one of those young men that you're seeing young in their career, and they're not doing it right. And we've all been young in this room. We've all not done it right. And hopefully at some point we've had a mentor that, has helped us, good, bad, or indifferent, right?
When I look at my life, I spent most of it doing it wrong. It's just recently you guys got a better version of myself.
We got to know Jam 2.0. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't have put up with the first version very long.
So anyway, Omar was really thankful for the shout out on the podcast, and he wrote this, and I just want to read it in his words because it's so heartfelt, right? And this is someone who we sat down. He was on the brink of losing his job because he wasn't doing it right, and this is what he has to say about it. So he says, "Good morning, JFW family. So as everyone heard last podcast, my start at JFW wasn't the greatest. Although I was extremely appreciative to have landed myself this job, I came in very arrogantly and extremely unsafe. I was that driver cutting through traffic, going in the hammer lane all the time, following too close, and excessive speed. Not to mention I had the lowest Samsara score in the entire fleet. I had numerous talks from the safety team, and as every young man would do, I didn't pay any mind to it. Thankfully, that quickly came to an end when the safety team, along with Brother Dave, sat me down for a meeting and told me the words we all don't want to hear. We are letting you go. I quickly understood the magnitude of the situation." I bet you did, Omar.
He understood the mission?
Yes, he and he goes on to say, I thankfully was able to negotiate my job back and put all my words and promises into action. And we did. We all sat at that meeting, and he fought for his job. And he swore, I'll make these changes. I can do this. I'm capable of this. I see these issues. I can be better. I can adjust, And when someone does that, that's heart. That is heart to us, and that's what we look for, right? Those are the culture interviews that Dave puts on, and those are the human beings we want to work here, right? And he was able to identify mistakes that he was making, and he owned them. That was the even better part. He owned it. He owned it. He said, I can change. I can be better. He fought for his position. So he says, I thankfully negotiated my job back and put all my words and promises into action. Now, a year later, I am Cadillacing down the road, enjoying my days at work, being vigilant, my score staying over a 95, and always reminding myself about the what ifs. It's never too late to simply be better. If there's a will, there's always a way. Isn't that just
So
outstanding, right?
So great.
For me, I say for me, that's selfish. That's just a success story. For Omar, that is a success story. And I hope when other people hear that, they're like, God, I can raise my safety score. I can do better. I can stay out of the left lane. I can stop fully at that stop sign at the railroad tracks at Coors. I won't slam my brakes on and adjust my load under the can. And, I'm just random throwing stuff out there, right, that we've fought in the past. So, Omar, good job. Congrats to you. I know you've turned your life around, and I know you've turned your career around here at JFW, and congratulations.
Amen.
Proud to have you as a team member, and I know we all are.
Yeah, it should be encouraging for some of the other drivers that are off to a rough start. They get discouraged, when they've only been here for a little bit, and we got to sit down with them and be like, hey, we noticed this had happened. And then the next week, hey, this has happened. And you could just see them kind of getting defeated, like we're picking on them.
Right.
But we're not. And,
Right.
I try to tell them, listen, like, you could wash this off. Like, we're not going to come into work tomorrow thinking about this.
Right.
You might, but we're not. So just got to fix it. And Omar's a perfect example of a guy that was doing it all jacked up.
Absolutely.
And now he's a superstar.
Yep. What are 2 days you can't worry about?
Yesterday and tomorrow.
That's right.
Yep.
Omar's perfect example of that. He's taking care of business today.
Amen.
And I think a lot of that, though, too, in other texts you've read to me, Dave, it's transferred into his personal life.
Yeah.
And
Oh, totally.
And I think that's a lot of what we want here, too, is they go hand in hand. You make changes in your personal life. There's changes here that happen. You make changes here, they fall into your personal life. Yeah. It's all the changes that you're personally making, no matter where you apply them at.
Right.
Yep.
I think it's so important you start out with the will part, because we always say it's a will, not a skill problem with that individual if they're failing at one thing or another. But inside your head, you got to say, you know what, this is what I am going to do, and I'm on a mission to do it, and whatever it may be, stopping smoking, going on a diet, doing better at your job, right?
Why do you look at me when you say a diet, Dave?
Because you're sitting across the table from me. Whoa, you've got some things going on in there, Dave.
Because I need to go on a diet.
But it's all about laying it down and saying, this is my goal. I am going to do this. Right?
You need to go on a diet, or you're going to go on a diet?
I need to.
It's a will, not a skill problem.
Yep. I've got the skills. I just need the wills.
You've done it before.
I have.
Yeah, I think that's for all of us, man.
Yep.
I don't need to go on a diet.
You need to go on a food program.
No, I'm
to diversify my diet, right? I eat the same thing every day.
Yeah, I think I'm talking about the will and skill, not the size, Dave.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of diets and holidays, and I'm sure everybody's going to eat a lot tomorrow, but don't forget holiday pay. There's some rules to holiday pay, okay? So holiday pay, number one, it kicks in when your benefits start. If you don't have benefits here yet, your holiday pay
And when is that?
The first day of the month after you've been here 60 days.
Yes, sir.
So, Brother Dave, you love that.
I just don't see why it can't be 60 days or 90 days.
I know.
It's just the dumbest thing.
I know.
It's the.
The
That's
good
all
ne-
I ever hear. When you say it, Jam, when you say it, Dave, it's like. Nope, been here 60 days. I get my benefits.
Charlie Brown. Wah, 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 wah.
Right?
The good news is, though, we're telling everybody.
Yes.
Wait,
You know,
I mean,
yes.
if you guys hate it so much, I mean, you guys own the joint. Can't you change that?
You guys told us we couldn't.
I
It
told
was
you
you
couldn't.
personally. I know you couldn't.
It's not our rule, Jam. We didn't make it up because clearly I've bitched about it for 2 years.
Listen, 6 years ago, 6 years ago when I walked in the door and I said, "When do my benefits kick in?" It was
you
the first.
told us.
It was the first. Okay, well now I'm telling you, you get benefits the day you start.
Yep. Some companies are like that.
They are.
Day
Yeah.
one. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
sign up for insurance.
Well, you
and-
do get benefits the first day you start here, and that's where your PTO starts.
Yep. You
accruing.
start accruing PTO. Yes, sir.
Plus, you have the benefit of working with us. So
I think it's. I mean, originally got started. It's been the insurance take on it, right? That's
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what they've
That's
instructed
what-
us to do.
that's
It's-
what they dictate.
Yeah, it's easier to start all the stuff, and yeah, sometimes is, people leaving, people joining, all that kind of stuff. I can't imagine keeping up with all the paperwork.
yeah.
You know, it's something else.
crazy. So once you've been here and your benefits kick in, you need to work the day before, your scheduled day before and your scheduled day after the holiday to get that benefit of the paid holiday. So
And not only work, but not be late, not, come in early for
norm.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, the norm.
yep,
Yep.
Yeah.
yep. So like the holiday's Thursday. If we're scheduled to work Friday and you call off, well, guess what?
No holiday pay.
No holiday pay. If we're not scheduled to work Friday and we have a 4-day weekend, but you're scheduled to work Monday and you call off, no holiday pay.
Right.
Yes,
If
sir.
you called off today, no holiday
They
pay.
pay.
Everybody get it?
I get it.
All right.
And we're giving you the rules. We're letting you know.
Yep.
We're refreshing your memory.
And hopefully you're here today.
Yep.
Yep. Well,
I'm
one
here.
thing.
Or listen to the podcast.
And at this point, we don't know if we're working Friday.
yeah.
Right.
The whole fleet. I mean, Coors is running and the asphalt side is running, correct?
As far as I know, Dave, I
Yeah.
told him to plan on that. Yeah.
Interesting.
The only thing we do know is that Martin Marietta will be closed.
Correct.
But
Yeah.
that's only one pit,
Correct.
Yeah. So I also do know. I saw the dispatch notes this morning. We had no call outs.
Wonderful.
Wow.
Fantastic.
So you're halfway.
That
You were.
holiday pay.
We should have a holiday every other day.
If we're gonna have a pay day off every other day, that would work. Best job in the world.
Oh,
You work 3 days a week, 1 week, and 2 days a week the next week.
Yeah.
All right, everybody get that. We'll move on to the next item of the discussion. Do not take the toll roads. JFW doesn't pay to take the toll roads. There's always an alternate route, and we do not encourage you to take the toll road. Does it happen by accident occasionally? It does. It shouldn't happen more than one time, though.
And I guess I hadn't heard about this. I mean, obviously in the past we have. This must be a recent thing or happened last week. Did we take a toll road or did we jump in the toll lane on like I-25 or I-70? Well, I guess I-70, well, yeah, still
Yeah,
either. It doesn't
this was
matter.
from an older. I mean, because we get a monthly, Dave. The toll bill and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It was a month ago.
Okay.
And the person's no longer here. Is how it came
okay.
up. So.
Okay.
And that's when I seen it. I'm asking everybody in the.
So this is a friendly reminder.
Yes,
Don't take
yeah.
the toll road.
No, we had somebody new jump on a toll road the day before yesterday,
recently too, Jim.
2 days ago.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So on like 470 toll
Right,
road. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
let's clarify. There's a C470, which we do drive on,
Yes.
and an E470
Yeah.
that we do not.
The E stands for
also the
expensive.
Express.
That's how
Yeah,
you remember.
Express.
I like that.
There's a reason, and it's just not the cost of the road is not built into our haul rates.
Well, there's another reason. We didn't frickin' train you to.
Yeah. The driver was, the driver,
Ooh, Dave! I think I saw the hair stand up on your neck on that one.
I mean, it always kills me, right? We trained for weeks and weeks and weeks, and who told you to do that? No one. Did it on my own,
nice job. Good for you.
right?
So
Here's the bill.
right. The driver was reactive to be on there, but proactive for it not to happen again. He got with JR, and they turned his toll off on his GPS.
Oh,
So now
smart.
it won't suggest the toll roads to him
there's
anymore.
a good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's that. Number 2 or 3, you can wear shorts here during the summer, but you have to have pants, sweatpants, or joggers with you
Joggers,
to get out of the truck at the pits and the plants.
a.k.a. quitters.
Quitters. Sweats. Yep.
That's what you put on when you get home, right, Dave? You take your work clothes off, put on some quitters.
He just drops his jeans
I have
and
no idea what quitters are, so no.
Sweatpants, Dave. Ooh, I got
No,
so
I
excited.
don't.
Do you-
I don't generally wear sweatpants.
Do you? So you don't change your clothes when you get home? You don't have to get into something
Sometimes
comfy.
yes, but most of the time no.
Yeah.
We have some friends that.
Because I'm only up for about an hour and a half before I go to bed. So
we have
Then you
some
got your
friends that do
PJs
that, and
on.
They're like, yeah, I got home from work, changed clothes, put on my quitters. They were always sweatpants.
Oh.
You know the beautiful Walmart sweatpants.
oh yeah.
I don't.
Dave, you're killing me.
Elastic waistband,
I thought he was in my circle.
the deep pockets.
If you ever leave the house, if you ever
Pockets, the pockets you can scratch anything, anywhere.
Everybody passed that.
You can scratch your neighbor
Yeah.
from those pockets.
Loose fitting, so people don't know you're in your pocket.
Oh, that's funny.
if you wear those out of the house, people automatically know you gave up. Huh? That guy gave
I.e.
up.
quitters.
Yep.
He's not going to push the shopping cart in.
Nah.
Hey, you know what? I thought about you on Sunday. Jackie and I went to Walmart. And so we had 2 carts. We had a regular cart that we had our food and stuff in. And then I had one of those flat carts that I bought some fertilizer on. And Jim, we brought both of those back inside the store. We didn't even go to the little rack, So like, let's just take them back in, Jackie. And she's like, okay. We hauled them in, and there was this guy right in the entryway, the greeter dude. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll take those from you. And felt good.
Yeah, I bet, Dave. I
It did.
bet.
I was like, Jim would be proud.
Yeah, we were at King Supers, and we parked the car quite a ways away, and here's Holly out in the parking lot putting shopping carts away. I'm like,
Does she wear a vest when she does that?
no, and
Still
she,
a vest on?
I think I tried to get her an application because she's just missing the vest and the little rope they pull them with now. And
We know what her retirement job is.
exactly.
funny.
It would be kind of fun to operate that machine. They have a little remote control, and they have that little cart
would-
pusher machine.
Like the Targets do,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would have to be setting a record. What's the, it's
How many?
It's only
Yeah.
it's only good for 100. I'd have like 102.
Yeah.
we can,
Actually, Walmart does too. I guess I've seen it
Yeah,
more at
they do.
Walmart than
Yeah.
Target. Yeah.
Anyway, the reason that you have to have pants on is MSHA, right?
Yeah,
If
it's
you're
a
in a
safety.
mine, you have to, it's a regulation. You got to have pants on. And,
Right.
Some of the plants are cracking down on that as well. They don't want you walking around there with shorts and sandals or anything like that. So, make sure you got some good boots or something and a pair of pants just in case you break down there. You got to get out of the truck. You don't get yourself or JFW in trouble.
So wait a minute. I can get out and open my gate with shorts on, right?
Just depends
Yep.
who's watching.
It just depends who's watching. No, you cannot.
Right. Yeah, that creates a problem. Like if you can't get out of your truck to sweep your tailgate off or sweep out or change, what good are you?
Yeah.
Might as well go home.
Yeah. It's always been kind of interesting to me. And I wear shorts all weekend, right? Or when I'm not at work, I wear shorts. And I laugh because everybody's like, yeah, it's summertime. I need to wear shorts. Don't you sit in like an air-conditioned truck that's like 70 degrees all day long? I mean, you can't stay cool with pants on? You can't stay cool if from your knees down are covered?
It's only 70 until the condenser freezes up. Then it's not 70 anymore.
Funny.
Let's see. This was Jim or was this Dave trading into Pete's before the KWs?
I think it's kind of both of us.
Yeah, tag team it maybe.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
to have we need to do some splaining, Lucy.
I think your deal the other day was good though,
I
Dave.
love it.
That if you had 2 cars,
Okay, I have 2 cars.
you have 2 cars.
What 2 cars do I have?
Well, they're pretty much identical though.
I have
You
a
got-
Ford Nova and a Chevy Nova.
Yep.
You got one of them. You got one of them electrics.
No.
You got a
I'll trade
Tesla.
that some
You got a
bitch.
Tesla and what do they call that little hybrid?
Useless.
Rivian or something? Or?
Nah, it's older. It's those little. They look like Hondas.
Oh, the Prius.
Prius.
You got a Prius and a Tesla.
Gotcha.
There you go.
Gotcha.
There you go. Actually, he's got a Kia and a Hyundai.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Same mileage, same cab, same
Okay.
interior, made by the same company, but they are two different cars. One's a Kia and one's a Hyundai, because Hyundai owns Kia.
I know where you're going with this. I was saying, wait a minute, Dave doesn't have a Prius. What the heck?
But the Hyundai, I think, right? Not the Kia.
The Hyundai. Yep.
Yep. Has 2 years, 200,000 mile more warranty on it. So,
And I have to get rid of one of them.
yeah, you have to get rid of them, and they're identical, really.
They are.
You know,
Same engine.
Yep.
Same horsepower.
Yep, same
Same
cab.
transmission. They both get the same mileage. They're both in great condition. They both look great.
Yep.
Same color.
Same,
Same
color. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point,
Red.
Dave.
Right. Just one
Same
has.
color red. Same color red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just one has 2 more years of warranty left on it, and the other one the warranty expires on.
So basically, what I'm hearing is the Pete's are going away first.
But
Yes.
why, Jam?
200,000 miles in 2 years.
Yes.
Warranty
and,
left on the Kenworths.
Yep.
And it's
Yes.
it's a business decision, you guys. We have to, we know there's a lot of guys that just love the Pete's, and we understand that, and we're not really excited about it. We'd like to have both brands.
Well, it wasn't our plan.
It was not our plan.
It was not our plan.
because
And-
MHC, not MHC, sorry, Pack Car changed our plans. Another business decision.
well, they did, and the economy.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
we're kind of scared to
They added the
warranty on the
and
Kenworths.
that's
Yeah,
where it
we didn't
started.
pay for it. It's
No,
free.
It's free.
Right? They added 2 years, 200,000 mile warranty to those
Yeah.
trucks.
Take it.
Best
They ma-
price, hands down.
free,
Free.
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's our
That's a
free
lot.
money, like in the 401k.
Right.
It's free. Like,
Free
are you not going to take
money.
advantage of it? Well, JFW is going to take advantage of it because those trucks will have full engine warranty.
Right.
For 2 more years, well, for a total of 7 years, 700,000 miles. That's unheard of.
Yeah.
No one has ever.
There's a lot
done
that could go wrong in 2 years and 200,000
Oh my
miles.
God!
Absolutely.
And to be
Jim.
protected and not have to buy trucks right now,
Right.
That makes total sense.
Right?
I'm not. I mean, I'm a driver, right? And I like trucks, but I'm not that guy that really cares if it says KW or Peterbilt on the outside. Especially with those two trucks, they're identical.
They are.
The only thing that
They're the
looks
same
different,
identical cab.
same
right? Made in
cab,
the
same
plant.
engine, same transmission, right?
Yep.
Different mirrors, but now they're going to be the same mirrors apparently, right? So to me, a brand new red. Are they going to have red frames? We
Yeah.
don't know.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
To
can't
me,
get
a-
red frames on the Peterbilts.
So to me, a brand
You
new
can't.
red
You
frame
cannot.
truck is a brand new red frame truck, and I'll drive the shit out of it, and it'll make me a lot of money.
Good.
So it doesn't matter
Good.
whether it's a Peterbilt or a Kenworth.
And Dave, I will retract that statement. You can specify red frames on the Peterbilts, but it is freaking astronomical because they don't want to do it anymore. It's a pain in the butt for them, and Kenworth is like, "Oh yeah, we'll do it."
You know, back in the day, in the 90s, when we were ordering all our trucks, didn't they always come with the same color? Like if you had a maroon truck, it would come with a maroon, frame.
Yeah, you ordered
Yeah.
it that way, Dave. Yeah.
Oh, did you order it that way, or it
you had
just
to,
came?
you
that
had to
way?
specify.
You did. have
Otherwise,
to.
it came with black.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah, I know we've done a lot of joking and a lot of talking about it. But yeah, the guys, the Pete's are going away. We're going to have to trade them in. The Pete's that go away, you'll end up with a brand new Kenworth. That's what we've been doing is
Yeah.
truck number for truck number.
No Yotis.
Yeah.
No Yoda's way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and we just want to be upfront
That
with
one's
you
for
guys.
you,
It's-
Jimmy. No Yoda's way.
Yeah, we do. We just
It's not. It's a business decision.
Yeah.
It's like not like we love Kenworths and we hate Pete's or anything like that. It is just truly a business decision, and
Yep.
it's the decisions we have to make. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, I just want to add another layer to that is we're protecting our people by doing this, and I guess when I say that. We're replacing 33 trucks this year. We had planned on replacing those 33 trucks next year as well, but we've put the brakes on it with the economy. We haven't ordered any trucks for next year. We're sitting tight. We want to be sure we have work and jobs and can make our payments, and more importantly, take care of the JFW family.
Right.
You know what I mean? Do you want to drive a new truck or have a job?
Yeah.
I want to have a job in a good truck.
Those
Right?
trucks. So those trucks are also paid off
They will
after
be.
5 years, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
they
So
will
the
be.
next 2 years, I mean, that's the sweet spot right there.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
trucks are covered. We don't have to worry about engine
And
fail-
paid for.
And paid for.
Right.
Yeah. No payments, but all the coverage.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, have your cake and eat it too.
I think I could have explained that to Bella, and she would have made the right choice. I mean, it's
I mean, when it wasn't our path because we were going to order 33 trucks for next year,
Right.
as well, and that's our replacement schedule. And that's not to say we still may not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We that's
we have
still
the-
to be determined. But generally, we have that on order already.
Mm-hmm.
We have those plans in the works, and we've put our brakes on that. We're just sitting tight. Like, wait a minute, we need to be able to make our payments and take care of our people. More importantly.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
and
and,
you talk to anyone, like you just said, Jam, Bella would even get that. And when we had planned on getting rid of the Kenworths, then doing the Pete's next spring, and when we went to MHC Kenworth, because they're the one taking the trucks in trade, we're like, hey, listen, this is what we're thinking of doing. And we explained it to our salesman that's been on the podcast before, Rick Bowen, and Rick's like, who wouldn't do that? That's the smartest thing any business could ever do, so.
Yeah, and I know it's the next line item, Dave, but I think me and you've talked enough about it too. We're really close, and we can talk about it, of starting the building.
Right.
And there's going to be some costs associated with that just aren't going to be covered under the loan.
Right.
Because we want to put some sweat equity into it. And that's exciting for all of us to be under one roof, and the facility we're going to have, the parking, the fueling. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. It makes
Right.
their day better.
Yep.
And a lot of these guys don't know how long it's been coming. And when we started with the West Yard,
Right.
beat our heads against the brick wall for
Right.
5 years, 6
At
years,
least. Yeah.
and then we sold that property, bought this property, and it's finally coming to fruition.
Right.
What a great feeling.
Right,
Right.
right. And just to be a smart ass, Dave, 42 years it's taken me. I'm done.
Come on, it was a big step when we built this building.
It was,
Right.
Dave.
Right.
And I remember standing in it, and I think with like Doogie and you and the guys that are around, and Scooby and everybody, and going, look at the size of this building. We parked
I
all
know.
those trucks in them, Dave. Remember? And
Yep.
We'll never outgrow this facility,
Yeah,
we said.
this will be wonderful. And
It was the Taj Mahal.
man, did we learn a lesson there? Never say that.
Never say never say never.
Yep.
Never.
Yep. Yeah. So the next bit here, Jam, unless you want to announce it. I mean,
it's just. I'm gonna let you announce it, but it's big news. I want to set it up a little bit. Just watching you guys getting ready to leave yesterday, like I seen the look in your eyes. You had the war face on, and you kept looking at each other like, "Here we go." And
I mean, it felt good doing those push-ups and chest bumps before
yeah,
we went to
that
get
was
pumped up.
that was my suggestion. Is like, you guys want to do some push-ups and chest bumps? Brother Dave looked at me confused, like, "What? What?"
Wait a minute, don't you get injured doing that?
here's somebody else.
Chili Dog does.
I think he's telling me I need to go on a diet.
Was that a fat joke? No, Brother Dave, I'm just trying to pump you up. But anyway, take it away, you guys. It's a big announcement, and here it is.
Yeah. Want to go for it, Dave? Or, yeah?
You lay it out there, man.
So we went to the Planning Commission last night. It is the first
Hearing.
or
Planning
hearing.
Commission hearing.
Yeah, the first step before you go to the City Council. I don't know. It's kind of different between Commerce City and Adams County, because you have the Adams County Commissioners, which we've heard a lifetime about, and these are the city councilman, I guess, is where we're headed next. But anyway, the planning board last night, that's the group of people that goes over your plans. They make sure that you're all in accordance with building plans, building specs, setbacks, the type of building, the zoning. There's so much stuff. You mentioned Ed Jennings earlier, the engineer. He did so much work on the project, meeting all the specifications basically. And we did go to the Planning Commission last night, met with the 4 commissioners. They heard our case. We presented it. They asked about a little history of JFW, what our plans are. And basically it's to take the 7 pieces of individual properties, which we, JFW all owns, replat them into one large piece, which is a little over 12 acres, and put our new building on it. We got a unanimous decision last night approval of the rezoning, the replatting, the type of building, the parking, everything was approved last night.
Congrats.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now this goes to City Council for the final approval on August 19th.
Yep.
And that will be, once that date hits, and you know, there can always be some problems there, but I think we have the planning department's approval. We have their ear. You know, there's nothing out of ordinary that we're doing. We're not trying to make, put a building in the middle of a neighborhood. And I think the city council will approve it.
I was going to say, so historically, from what you know going through this process, the problems would have been yesterday.
Got
it. So getting through that first set of red tape, once you're through there, it should be pretty clear.
So the planning commissioners that we had the hearing with last night, they not only approve, but they recommend to city council to approve this project.
Oh, wow.
Right? Doesn't always mean it gets approved.
Yeah,
That's
right.
just not 100%.
Right.
Because they've had multiple situations
approvals
like
where they
ours
give
that they've approved. It went to city council, and city council's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Wait.
You want to do what, where, and why are you doing this? And we don't like that color, and just some interesting facts that have popped up over time. So it's not a slam dunk. I mean, we definitely, it's going to be a big hoop when we jump, but we're ready to jump August 19th.
So no dancing in the streets till August 19th.
Not till after August 19th. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Then
we
we'll
did a
dance.
little jig last night.
Yeah, I bet.
A little.
It
just
felt good.
Just a little.
Did you
just
high
a little-
five? Did you
just a
high
little
five and
warm-up.
chest bump?
We fist bumped when we left.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was all good.
It felt good.
4 yeses, and they asked good questions, and it helped prep us for the 19th on what might be asked by city council. And I think it'll be. I'm excited. There's
Yeah.
always that pit in your stomach, but I'm leaning more towards excitement about getting it approved and going through and finding out what our future is.
Yep.
It's close. And I guess the thing is, Jam, is everybody we've talked to, our people, our builder, the engineers, stuff like that, that if August goes well, you're looking September possibly breaking ground.
Wow.
Turning dirt.
Turning dirt. Ordering the building, all that kind of stuff. So we'd love to, if it can be done, if we start turning dirt in September, you're looking at having a building September of 2025.
Wow.
Completion would be great in a year. I don't know if that's possible, but
That's some mamma jamma.
yeah, but that's, it's, the steps are simple from here.
So come September, are we JFW in it, or are we hiring somebody to do it?
Both.
Both, yeah, yeah.
Sweat equity.
Yeah.
We can't beat sweat equity, Jam.
Right.
Yeah.
But the dirt work, the infrastructure, as far as there's some small curb and gutter. The two big projects will be the basement. We're looking at doing what kind of heating, Dave? Geothermal, which will be another big area that will be excavated. They'll lay coils that will be liquid filled that will pick up the ground temperature, and it's easier to heat and cool, or you heat both of them, but not as much for geothermal. There's some large rebates that Colorado or the federal government are getting to use that kind of technology.
Thank you, taxpayers.
Yeah, thank you, taxpayers, that you all have paid for or will pay for.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I.e., every person that works here.
Yep.
Thank you.
Paid a little bit of taxes for that.
Keep voting.
So that's exciting on the geothermal, but more excavation. And then the large project that JFW will do is the water. Storm sewer?
Drainage.
Yeah,
Our
storm
drainage,
sewer.
yeah.
Because we'll put in several large grates across the property, have to regrade it, and it'll go back to a detention pond. And then we're going to be doing the detention pond that will have a 100-year flood gate and a 500-year flood gate that then will empty into the creek if there is such an event. And we'll have to do the storm gate right at the creek side, on the other side of our fence or our big building. So those are the two large projects that we'll participate in.
Gotcha.
JFW will, and then obviously we have all the asphalt out back for grading and stuff like that. And then Drew will, for the obviously for the cement work or the concrete, we'll go with Brandon. We'll do all the concrete there and the paving. and they are aware of the project, not when it would go, but we've talked to them about it. And
How many yards of concrete?
Yeah, they're what, Jim?
How many yards of concrete?
I ballparked it. I think it's about 1,500, Jim.
Okay.
Yeah, and that
And
includes
that was a rough figure.
yeah,
Yeah,
foundation, floor, and fuel island.
Yeah,
is the
and-
big concrete.
and big pad out front of the shop. So
Yep.
there'd be a concrete pad 100 feet, extend 100 feet
Yeah.
from the doors, or 75 feet from the doors.
Yeah, 300.
But that's 350 feet long.
Right.
You know what I mean? So because there'll be 14 bays on the shop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two wash bays, 2 trailer building bays. I mean, we can talk more about the stuff because it's been approved.
Right.
Nothing was turned down last night.
And then-
So everything, the building fits.
2 oil change bays, and then the rest 8 mechanical bays.
Yep. And for Mikey, there'll be an elevator, so no more going up and down the stairs to get to the
Yep.
to the office. Visit me and Ann.
You could have just got him one of them
That'll be a
things.
time saver.
It
Go
will
up
be.
the stairs.
I'm going to put a little recorder in there when you press, because there's only going to be 2 buttons, 1 and 2.
Yeah, up and
Right?
down.
1 and 2. When he gets in there on floor 1 and you hit 2, it's like ladies' lingerie.
Going now.
Ding.
That's funny.
So yeah, we're really excited. I hope you can feel the excitement. I guess for the guys and
Yeah, you said it. You said there's going to be 2 trailer building bays. Can we talk about that a little bit more?
What?
yeah. I think for quite a few years now, Cliff McWilliams, which has owned several companies. We've talked about Cliff before. He came
Mate
to
trailers, Travis trailers,
yeah McWilliams.
CMC trailers.
Freedom? Was he the
Freedom
Freedom?
trailers.
Yeah.
God, what's
Vantage.
the other one?
I mean, you
Vantage.
didn't
That's what I was
mention
trying to-
Van- yeah, Vantage.
He
He's
created them, built them, and sold them.
Sold them. Yep.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
His brother, well, I think his brother's finally got sick or maybe even passed away, but that now it's a friend that owns Mate Trailers. But he and his brother started Mate, and Mate is the oldest company.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his brother had stayed and ran it for all those years. And then CMC was the next one, Cliff McWilliam Trailers. And then Travis Trailers makes all the round bottom trailers.
Yep.
And that's named after his son, Travis McWilliams. Oh, and then we bought Eagle Rocks from his son
Yeah.
that owned Eagle Rock from Travis.
Yep.
And then, Vantage was probably his biggest player that he
Longest
had.
probably business.
But biggest,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Most designs, most patents probably
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's
So-
well on in his 70s and
Does it have anything to do
still
with
passionate.
Nuttall or?
no.
He
Not
hires
so,
Nuttall to build the trailers.
Yeah, I mean,
So he's involved. They're building trailers for him.
he has the patents. That's what I was going to explain to you guys.
Gotcha.
Is several years he came to us and asked us to invest in his company. So JFW happens to own patents to build his trailers.
Nice.
And he's been adamant, but because at his age, when he passes, we get all his patents, his designs, and all that kind of stuff, plus our investment. So Nuttall builds his trailer. He gives them the design, how he wants it welded, and everything. And Nuttall's just the builder. He's the designer.
Got it.
JFW will become the builder
Got
of
it.
our own patents and our own design. I don't know. We've kind of joked. Sam's going to engineering school to be an engineer, and maybe if when Cliff passes at that time, maybe Sam can pick up some engineering tips
Yeah.
and re-engineer the trailer, because Cliff's changing the trailer all the time. You've seen the models we've had
yeah,
in here
he
over the
is.
I
years.
mean, look at the Nuttalls compared to the Vantages. I mean,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, we just sold one of the Nuttalls, 2019, last Saturday, and I walked that trailer and I'm like, there isn't a crack in this thing. It's 5 years old. There isn't.
Yeah.
It's in perfect shape. You know
It
what I
is.
mean? We
It
put a
is.
new tarp on it and we've repaired the liner. We acidized it, swapped the wheels, and it was like
brand new.
it was
Yeah.
amazing, right?
Yep.
It just they're good trailers.
Yeah, and we're at this point, we don't have any plans to build the trailers for other people. They will be our own product. It'll be a step up in the industry to be able to have our own product that we build, we run for a while, and then Cliff in his wisdom, he's always thinking, man. I mean,
His brain is just
that guy.
going 100
That guy
miles
is
an
on
hour.
fire for. I think he's in his 80s now, Dave. I know you mentioned well in
I
his
thought
70s.
he was late 70s.
Either way,
Is he 80?
I think he's 80.
You're right. I think he's like 81.
Yeah, just a little younger than Dad, but he was
You
like
should run for president.
exactly. He seems smarter than the two guys.
He does.
Yeah.
right? But his whole thing
He
is,
does have trouble walking, but that's because he's got a fused ankle from a car crash when he
Yeah.
was 20.
Yeah, and still loves his cars. Still loves to race his cars.
Still drives like crazy.
Yeah, but his kind of quick formula looking at it, you guys, was to build a trailer, run the trailer for so long, whatever that might be, 3 to 5 years, take the running gear off of it because there's nothing wrong with the axles and the tires, take the hoist out of there. You would scrap all the aluminum out of that trailer,
Cut it up.
whatever you get from that trailer, you reinvest in the next one you build. Put the hoist and the the running gear, the tires
Suspension.
and axles back under that. Do that 2 times, and basically you're building the trailer for free off the scrap. And so we have a trailer that's totally free to JFW.
Wow.
When the competition is buying their trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be on the third trailer because
third
you'd have to
trailer's-
get 2 scrap.
Yeah.
Scrap.
And that was just a quick idea of him going, what the price of scrap is right now. You do this, boom, 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 and you're working on a free trailer. Or we could sell the trailer.
So every third trailer would be free.
Yeah, once you, on this process,
Yeah.
of scrapping it.
Damn, free money.
Yeah, but he's always got things like that he's working on and suggesting and different things like that.
And you mentioned 2 wash bays. Are they going to be identical, or is one a pull through, or
One's ours. No, they're identical, Jim. And they are. Those are the only pull-throughs on the building.
Yep.
Those 2 bays are the only pull-throughs on the building.
They'll be behind the gate, the entrance, and they'll pull right out into the yard.
got it?
Yep.
So when I said pull through, I meant, is there one that's automatic, or
Oh no, Jam. We haven't been to an automatic car wash that washes as good as people.
that's true?
That's just it in a
Hands
nutshell.
down.
Got it.
And we have great people in the wash bay.
So
And
we'll have 2 wash bays going at the
yeah,
same time.
absolutely.
That's great, man.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, 4 pressure washers and wands at each end, and yeah, I mean it should be. I mean, I don't see why we couldn't wash 20 trucks a night easily.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's crazy,
yeah,
man. So that's 20 a night. You're basically saying the fleet gets washed every week.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
just
I mean, that's 10 trucks per wash bay,
right,
right? It's not a big deal.
right.
So
Yeah, and set up much different. The length and the width of them to be able to stand back with the wand, get the surfaces easily. There's 3 wands per bay. Dave?
Four. There'll be one
for
in
the
each
front-
corner.
In
Yeah.
each corner.
Yeah.
So 4 wands, all ran by one motor. All of that will be outside, hopefully located. I mean, that's
yeah,
not
so
set
it's
in
totally
stone.
quiet.
So no noise inside the wash bay anymore, and just the sound of the water coming out of
Yep.
the wand. That's it.
Yep.
And
yeah, it'll be awesome.
plastic curtains separating the bays with a so high of a cinder block wall to keep the mess down, all water treated and all that kind of stuff, and then the drains and stuff in the bays.
Huh. Awesome, guys. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats to
Congrats.
JFW.
Yeah, exactly, Jim. It'll
It'll be a
taken us
win-win
all.
for everybody.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next step.
Right.
All right. JR was supposed to be on the Jason Luber podcast next week called Driving You Crazy. Turned out,
And who is Jason Luber?
he is a weatherman or a
Traffic
traffic.
guy.
He's a traffic
Yep.
traffic reporter on Channel 7.
7,
yes.
Right? So he's on there every morning. He has his own podcast called Driving You Crazy.
You're right. Yeah, I
driving
looked it
us,
up. Yep.
driving
You
us
Cra-
crazy. Driving us crazy.
Driving You Crazy. Is
Okay.
when I looked it up, Jim.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, JR got invited on the show. He thought it was next week, but it turned out it was yesterday. So JR was on it yesterday. Luckily
Yeah, I
for
was
us.
shocked it was via phone.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So when he sent that email that he was going to do the podcast, and then it was like, oh, I'm here at Burnco. I'm stopping here at Union. I was like,
He's teleporting.
how the heck's he going to do the podcast? You
Right.
know what I mean? So all via phone.
Yep. Yeah, so as soon as we have the link to that, we'll send it out. It should be out in next week or two. So, and then he is supposed to come on this podcast, not via telephone, but actually come over here December
Yeah.
31st. We just need to talk about that collectively as a group and see if it works for all of us. So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I think we need to make it work, right, Jam? Somehow, I think it would be a. Good
I'm
guest.
flexible.
Me too. I'm like a mud flap.
too.
There we go.
As long as you don't tear me off, I'll be here.
Well, we're going to set you on top of the tire before we take off. if you like a mud flap.
It's the best way to protect the tires. Put a mud flap on them.
We don't want to get the mud flaps dirty. All right. Anything else for the discussion, guys?
I don't think so.
I got a couple.
Go for it.
I had Big John come to me this morning, and he brought up, he's had missed some days here, scheduled some days off here and there because he's, helping Laurel with losing her father and stuff like that. And just brought up everybody's done a wonderful job in his truck, but every time he gets in it, he can look up there at the trailer. He's got a brand new trailer, and it's just parked with the tarp torqued. And what I mean by that is, we talk about this all the time, is when you reel that tarp in or when you reel it out, just give that button a tap the other direction. Just a tap. It just needs a tap. Don't hold it for 1 second. Just give it a tap, because you'll watch when that motor pulls that tarp all the way in or retracts it all the way out. If you just let it stop spinning and leave it, you've watched that motor. It literally torques up. I've used the example before. It's just like flexing your muscles. You can only flex your bicep so long, and then you have to release it, right? Otherwise, something's going to give, right? Something's got to give sooner or later. So give all that equipment a break, and just, I say, let it breathe. It's almost like holding your breath because it's torqued. Just hit it the other direction once you've reeled it all the way in and reeled it all the way out. Just give it a bump and it untorques. It takes the pressure off of that tarp, and it just makes it last a lot longer. And we've mentioned this before on the podcast, so for all you new guys that are out there driving, pay attention to that. It's saving on the equipment.
Yeah, those are winch motors, and they will rip the motors right out of the metal.
Yes, absolutely. And then the other thing that I have, and we talk about this, and we talk about this, and we talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it some more because it's important. We have to post-trip when we come in this yard. When we park that truck, if you just turn that key off and you exit that truck and you do nothing, you are failing. You're failing us. You're failing yourself. And more importantly, you're failing the next person. You're failing the shop, and you're just not doing it right. Ask Omar Reyes about doing it right and doing it wrong, and he's going to explain to you that you need to get out that hammer, you need to bump your tires, you need to check your lights, you need to write up anything you find, and it's minutes. It is literally a couple minutes. You can do it in a couple minutes. Just do your job. Scan that truck. When you back up and park and you step on the brakes, have your windows down and hold the brakes for a minute. See how much air you lose. Listen for an air leak. Then set your brakes. Get out and do your post-trip. And I guess the reason I'm leading up to it is George is training. George Potgieter. He's training a new driver here that started a week or two ago named David Wright. And David got here, and because he's going from truck to truck to truck, filling in, still training with George, but shadowing him in his own truck. Luckily, he pre-tripped the truck. And all he did was walk around it, and he saw it. And, I give him more credit than, well, you couldn't help but not miss it. It was an inside tire. I don't know whether you know that, Jim.
Yeah, I kicked it. I was out there, and I told him, thank you for finding it.
Right, but
the thing is I don't agree with where you're going with that it was easy to find. I think that's bullshit, because we don't have people doing it. That's not easy to find.
Right. My point is, you led me to believe, he said you couldn't help but miss it. It was off the bead. Well, an inside tire is even a little tougher to find off the bead than an outside. So I'm giving credit to David Wright that he was doing his job. He made it sound like, well, anybody would have found that. Clearly, the post-trip person that drove that truck yesterday did not find it, because here's the deal. It was flat when you came in. Ask me, Dave, how do I know that?
Because it was off the bead this morning, and it didn't go anywhere.
Dave, you're supposed to say, Dave, how do I know
Dave.
that? Thanks for playing, Jeff.
Oh, I was going to tell you why. But how did you know, Dave?
Well, I go out and I ask Ricky, what'd you find in that tire? Because the reason I ask is, okay, if the tire was only 10 pounds low, or let's say 20 pounds low, I can see a driver missing that. Yeah. It has the same sound or very similar when you bump it with a hammer. That's probably a very small leak. If it has something tiny in it, or it could even be something big, but it's barely leaking, right? There was nothing in this tire but a gaping hole.
Right.
And here's how I know you drove with that tire like that because it was flat so long it was rubbing the other tire because it was off the bead. So there's rub marks between the duals from the loose tire flopping on the wheel, hitting the other tire. That only happens when you're loaded or you've traveled a long ways with it. So guess what, bud? You parked that truck. It had a flat tire off of the bead. You didn't check it. Shitty job. You fail for yesterday. That's just.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sorry. I don't want to be like that or sound like that. But when I run into that person, that's how you have to be. That person is not doing their job, and it's frustrating. You were trained to do a post trip. God dang it, do it.
Yeah, anybody with a mini sledge would have found that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the only way you're going to miss it
Yes.
if you didn't bump them. If you
Yes.
bump
Yeah.
them,
Yep.
it's not hard to
Yeah.
find. If you don't bump them, yeah, you may not see it if you're just looking or not looking.
And when you're approached about this, the best thing you can say is, yep, I screwed up. I didn't do my post trip. I don't want to hear you had to leave early for this. I don't want to hear you had to do that. I don't want to hear you were in a rush.
I thought I did it.
Yeah, I thought I did. Right, Jam? Yeah, I thought I cleaned off the tailgate. Just do it, man. Just do it.
And we're talking about it being so ridiculous, and I know you mentioned the hammer jam and everything like that. We don't want you hitting it with your hand. We don't want you kicking tires. But any of those forms, you would have found this tire off the bead. That's how ridiculous
Just
it is.
attempting to poorly do your job, you would have found it.
Yeah,
Right, Jim?
exactly,
That's your point.
Dave.
Yeah.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even half-assed, you would have found this tire.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's funny you mentioned about I call them the inside rookie rings, right?
Yeah.
Is when I was out there looking with Ricky, I turned on my flashlight on the phone. I looked at him like, yeah, it was
like that yesterday.
Yep.
Where was the hole at? Was it blown out through the tread or the sidewall? Or
It had to be in the center, Jam, because he was repairing it.
Oh, really?
So
If it was off to the side, he couldn't have repaired it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason we.
Yep.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. What else you got there, Brother Dave?
That's it. I'd like to soapbox a little more on it, but I get so tired of beating it up, and it just comes down to doing your job. This job's pretty simple. I have to know whether I parked a truck with a flat tire or not. Do I have to fix it?
Not
Do you want me
anymore.
to fix it? Do you expect me to fix that tire?
Nope.
You know.
Exactly.
And I can't remember his name. I should know his name. Who was the gentleman in here yesterday with the flat? In the trailer tire, Dave. Who was that? 30,
Oh, Gerardo.
Gerardo, 30,
Yeah.
30 something.
I don't know.
20?
Yes, 20. 20, yeah.
20. But he had a flat, and we checked into it going, did you pre-trip? You could see the nail sticking out of it.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome because he looked at us and goes, yep, I forgot to write it up.
Oh,
And it was so refreshing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I gave him a hard time. I patted him on the shoulder. I'm like, dude, you forgot to write it up? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there's no big
Shit happens.
in the conversation,
Right,
right?
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're busy, but he knew he had it, and
Yeah.
he brought it in
Yep.
and got it fixed the
Yep.
next morning. And
Yep.
I mean, when he probably found it in the morning, he was probably like, "Son of a bitch,"
Right.
Because it messes his day up too.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, that was the other.
Yes, because you messed Georgia. You didn't even mention.
Yes.
that.
Yes.
That
You didn't screw one truck up. You screwed two trucks up because that trainer has to wait for that tire to be fixed. You know what I mean? It's just.
and we're
it's
missing
frustrating.
and we're missing two loads.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've not screwed one person. You've screwed two, and you've screwed the house. Just please be better
Our system works when you
do it. Yeah.
Do your job.
It's not a rigged system, is it?
yeah. I was talking to a driver the other day, and the comment was like, "I'm still used to focusing on my pre-trip." I'm like, "You got to change that mindset right now." Like, yeah, you need to do a pre-trip to verify all the things that you looked at last night were still okay. But if you're waiting to find things in the morning, you're just shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Find it at night, go home, go to bed, and come into your truck being fixed. I mean,
Yep.
that's the best case scenario.
I mean, it's like you said last night, Jam, that we, joking with us, we had our game face on and stuff like that. We're concerned about the Planning Commission. We were called and told that we need to give a presentation. What if we just showed up and, we don't need to do a present? I'm not going to do it?
Right.
Who cares?
What did you mean? We need to do a presentation. What is that?
Oh, I thought we did that.
Yeah.
I thought I did it.
I mean, I doubt we would have passed last
I
night.
thought I did.
Yeah, I thought I
Jim,
did.
did you do the presentation? I didn't do a presentation.
I thought so.
Turns out we both did. Oh, amazing. Yeah. We kicked ass.
Yeah, I want to throw out there only because I deal with it literally every day. The common question that I have to field when people are looking for a job, what's it like in the wintertime?
Cold.
What do you guys
snowy.
do in the wintertime, right? Cold. So you guys, every load counts because it's June or July now, right?
Yeah.
And
Make hay while the sun shines.
Time flies. And we were just talking about Chili Dog. Jim, it freaked me out when you were like, okay, that puts Chili Dog into the winter months to do a snow removal thing when his knee is healed.
I mean, he finishes
And
up
I'm
in
like,
September,
oh
right,
my
Dave?
God,
Yeah.
we're talking about snow and it's only July
Right.
2nd, right?
Right.
So everybody's got to figure that out. Every load counts.
Yeah.
And I'll just stop right there. Every load counts.
It also every load counts also in the economy we're in right now. You know, we spent years there where every load we missed was a break because you were so,
Yep,
you
you're
were
right.
so wore out.
You're right.
You know, now every load counts because
Right.
it's money in everybody's pocket.
Right.
So yeah, how important every
Boy,
load
what a
is
flip
important.
flop, huh, Jim?
Yes, Dave. Yes, and it'll come back. It's
Oh, yeah.
it's seasonal if you want to call it. It's just a different season is all. You know.
I do have one more thing for the discussion. Ray sent me a text. I know you guys think I'm just on my phone, but I'm conducting business. So Ray says, can you put in a podcast at Wallstrom when you are going early or when it's busy and there's a line going into the plant, you need a stage or go down the street and turn around to get in line for the bins. All the trucks that are lined up down the street are going to the top, and the trucks that are down the street along the mountain are trucks going to the bins. And no one is going to let you make that left turn to get in line for the bins, and you're holding up the line for the trucks going up to the top. Let's keep it moving and know what line to get in. Much love always, the Black Sheep. So,
Not good info.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't understand that, and maybe that's what they were talking about. Because a little bit ago, you know, they were saying that they were letting us load because all those guys were going up top. We need to get loaded, so obviously that's the trucks that's going down, getting the bins, and everybody else is going up top. They're loading all of those trucks.
Yeah, if you're going to make a left into the pit, you're going up top. Is what I read there. If you go around and get lined up on, I guess you would call that the north side of 6 or whatever, 640.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Six.
is.
Yeah.
Then you're going to the bins. So against the mountains, you're waiting for the bins. In the street, making a left, you're going up top. But if you make a left from the street, the people that are lined up against the mountain aren't going to let you in to go to the bins.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense? Am I saying that right, Sue?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, questions from the audience, unless somebody else has some more discussion items. Nope. Steve Big Country Jackson says, now that the super dumps are hauling asphalt, will you be hauling asphalt millings? Are you going to be hooking up chains to the tailgate to spread the load of millings or gravel for the customer? Reason I ask is because when I hauled asphalt in my dump truck in Nashville, that's what we did, and we're able to spread the millings at a decent pattern for the customer on their property, and we did the same thing with gravel. Or is it going to be the same situation that are in the dumps to back up to dump it out in a pile and drive off?
Yes.
Great.
I was gonna say,
Yes to all of the above.
We've already hauled millings. We hauled millings last year.
Right. We just did it a couple weeks ago in Blackhawk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Just
Anytime we can spread, if we're on a spread job, we spread.
yeah. Those trucks are capable of doing the same thing at Tandem are.
Yep.
You know, we'll do road-based jobs. We'll do milling jobs. I mean, most of the milling jobs, though, you do take it back to Brandon's location, and they reuse it. They recycle it. It's not, you know, but if they have somebody that wants it, that's what we'll do. You know, and set the chains and do a spread job. I mean, we used to do that for years. I would still do it. We just don't have as many opportunities going to the plants.
Right.
Tips and tricks from Ray Davis. I thought I would do some Colorado did you know driving laws that still exist that are just too weird. Number 1, you can't drive a black car on a Sunday. Not entirely sure why this rule exists, but it's still written into state law that black cars can't be driven on the first day of the week. Luckily, this law isn't generally enforced statewide. That is weird.
That's a weird one.
That is.
Yep.
2 Westminster laws you may not have known. So, Brother Dave, this is important for you and I.
It is, right?
Number 1, don't park too close to others. These laws are exclusive to Westminster. Apparently, you can get a ticket if another car parks within 2 feet of your vehicle. You can get a ticket for letting them park that close to you. How are you in control of that? That's
Yeah,
crazy.
I would think the other guy would get the ticket.
No, it's your fault, Super Dave. And another good one is don't get lost. In the days of GPS on your phones and in our cars and trucks, in Westminster, you can get fined for getting lost in town between 9 p.m. and 4 a.m. So if you want to get lost, do it before 9 p.m. or after 4 in the morning. And then down in Fountain, if you happen to break down on the road, you can get a ticket for public nuisance. So hope all is well with the JFW family, friends, and listeners. Have a great and safe Independence Day. Remember, safety has no blind spots. Look and lean. Sit up on your stool. Don't be a fool. Much love and respect always. Ray Ray the Black Sheep, 0013. That was
Thanks,
fun.
Ray Ray.
Yeah, they were different ones, good ones, right?
He had his quitters on when he wrote that. Gave up. Safety topic of the week: following too close, pushing cars, and harsh stopping. JR just left out as a note on my desk, and those all go hand in hand. If you're following too close, which is my biggest pet peeve, that means you are pushing the cars in front of you, and guess what? If they slow down, you're going to end up with harsh braking, harsh stopping events. So space is your friend, right? Speed, space, those are 2 of the major reasons for truck crashes. Give yourself a lot of room, use that space cushion driving. Don't push on the cars ahead of you. Your family could be in that car. More importantly, my family might be in that car, and that'll eliminate your harsh stopping.
We had a guy.
About my family being in that car.
That's pretty important too.
We had a guy push us in this morning.
Did you?
Yep.
Yeah, it was crazy, Jam, and I don't think it was us. It was just that's where he drove. I mean, he was literally he was so close, Jam. I said, Dave, look at this guy, and Dave goes, he's so close I can't see him. I mean, Dave looked out there, looked behind him like
You
would
can
in
always
passenger.
look in the mirror when you're sitting in the passenger seat. You lean forward and you look in that mirror and you're like, Jesus, he's so close I can't even see him.
Yeah, there was no headlights. That's how close he was, and pushed us off the ramp, and then we got over, and then the light was red, and he rolled clear up on the car that was stopped like 2 inches from the car. I mean, it's just like, man, people, and then because you think that guy won't stop, but it doesn't matter that his car gets wrecked or he gets hurt. It's like your family, Dave, and your family, Jam. That's where that's what we're concerned about.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
hate that.
Yeah.
You're just telling people that you are more important than anything else on the road.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah, and what a jerk you are.
So
Yeah, and for all I know, I said guy could have been a girl too. Just,
probably was.
Yeah.
I had that similar thing happen on my way home last night. This car was right on my butt, and yeah, I was in the hammer lane, but I was going with traffic. Mm-hmm. There was 50 other cars in the hammer lane too, and we were all hooking it, But I happened to leave a little more following distance than most people, I guess. So anyway, that dude comes around me, flying by on the right, and gets in front of me because I leave a good space.
Yeah.
Dave, you're supposed to gas on it and crash them when they don't have room to jam in at the last minute.
Right, I know. But then the poor guy in front of me, he's got him on his ass now, because
Right.
then he gets right up on his ass and goes down the highway on, like that. And it's like, do they not realize they haven't gone anywhere?
He got 2 seconds.
Traffic is not
maybe
going
2
any
seconds.
faster. He's not getting any farther down the road.
Yeah, yesterday,
Frustrating.
getting on 270 from Vasquez, you know how you do it, right? We go the back way, we make the right to go northwest or whatever that is. So I get on and I put my blinker on and move over another lane. And this car that's behind me, he got to move
Gotta
over
pass
quicker
you.
than me and then pass me on the left. And I'm like, I'm looking like, where are you going? Like,
Right.
I mean, I got 3 or 4 miles before I need to move over. So I just turned my blinker off. I was talking to my buddy on the phone. No big deal. Well, sure enough, the right lane starts going faster than the left lane.
So he cut
Right.
you off again.
No, he didn't cut me off again, but I did see him at one point. He fell in like the other lanes were going to, so he fell in right behind me because I was going faster, and then I just let off the gas. I mean, not completely, but I'm like, oh, I was doing 62. We're doing 55 now, for sure. You know what I mean? And then you could just tell. I mean, he's peeking on the right, he's peeking on the left. Finally, he bailed off to get on 76. I'm like, Wow, what a frustrating drive for you. I'm over here just Cadillacing.
Yeah, most of the time, I just try to let them pass. I mean, Dave's been doing that for a long time. You just let the people just pull over.
I like
if there's a space,
Scoot right over to the shoulder, man. I'll stick my arm out the window, go,
Would
come
wave
on
them-
by.
wave them on. And we couldn't even do that this morning, and we were in the slow lane. Like, where am I going? I can't go anywhere. And it's just weird. And I know everybody out there. You guys drive all day long, see it all day long.
All
You
day.
can predict it. You could write a book about it.
Oh, the low light reel is already building, and we just put one out like last week or the week before. So
Yeah, we're complaining about a poor 20-minute drive, huh, Jim?
Yeah, and you guys are in it all day
our
long.
amazing
Yeah.
drivers fight it for 12 hours a day.
Yeah.
You guys are heroes. Highway heroes. Thank you for all you do.
That one you were watching just the other day with the motorcycle, and I quickly watched where he fell over. I didn't rewatch it, but I couldn't believe the pickup got stopped, Jim, and didn't run right over the guy.
Right.
he anticipated that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, the pickup stopped. That's all. I didn't even care about the motorcycle guy. I was like, the pickup got stopped.
Yeah.
I'll send that out. I mean, it's worth, before the highlight reel comes out, I'll put it out on Paycom today. But yeah, this motorcycle, he's just split lanes. What it looked like to me is he got on the zipper, that white paint, and it just kind of got a little squirrely on him, and he made a left turn and dumped it right in front of a pickup truck in the left lane. That was...
Wow.
Yeah, because again, like I said, I didn't watch it over and over. And thank you, Kat, because just glancing at it, Jam, and if that was the white line, because it looked like he just flopped over.
Yeah.
Like he made a hard turn and go ploop,
Yeah,
flopped over.
like literally, it kind of reminds me of the one that ran into the FedEx truck. He's just going, and he's just like, right turn right into the trailer. Right?
Yeah, that's the one I was just thinking of. I was like, wait a minute, we saw that one.
No, it's very similar,
this
but
is another one.
he
I haven't
just
seen it.
he's split.
Have you, Dave?
The new
The one you guys are talking about.
I just
Yeah, I
I
haven't
just
seen it.
downloaded it.
Yeah, just
yesterday.
yesterday I seen it or wherever it was.
Gotcha.
But it was just, he just flops over. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But the pickup getting stopped, wow.
Yeah. Good for Fred Powell. He called that one in. Thanks.
Nice. Good
Good
job,
one,
Freddie.
Freddie.
Yep. Soup, you want to hit us with that high road hauling?
Sure.
You got a good one?
I do. So this is something I think it's more for the kids. I'm not sure, but
Hey.
I think it's really true for just about anybody if they're, being, being influenced, I guess, by others that changes their behavior or changes their thought process about how they themselves will act or be. And so the title of this one here is Be True to Yourself. Be true to yourself means to act in accordance with who you are and what you believe. If you know and love yourself, you will find it effortless to be true to yourself. As difficult as it may seem at first, have the courage to accept yourself as you really are, not as someone else thinks you should be. Many young people believe that when they do things to please their peers, such as drink when they shouldn't, or behave and party in inappropriate ways, they will be popular and liked. They go against the advice of their parents or their own common sense to find themselves in trouble and not accomplishing what they set out to do. Do not take action or pretend to be someone else for the sake of gaining acceptance. Self-respect comes from being true to who you really are and from acting in accordance with your own natural tendencies in nature. When you respect yourself, others will respect you. They will sense that you are strong and capable of standing up for yourself and your beliefs. When you are true to yourself, you allow your individuality and uniqueness to shine through. You respect the opinion of others, but do not conform to stereotypes or their expectations of you. To be true to yourself takes courage. It requires you to be introspective, sincere, open-minded, and fair. It does not mean that you're inconsiderate or disrespectful of others. It means that you will not let others define you or make decisions for you that you should be making for yourself. Be true to the very, be true to the very best that is in you and live your life consistent with your highest values and aspirations. Those who are most successful in life have dared to creatively express themselves and in turn broaden the experience and perspectives of everyone else around them. So here are some tips on being true to yourself. Be who you are, be your genuine self. Follow your own value system and common sense. Listen to the advice of others, but make up your own mind. Recognize, appreciate, and develop your unique talents, and stand up for what you believe in, and you will gain respect from others. Know that being different is a gift, and understand that you are enriching others by being yourself. And the quote this week is, before you speak, I love this too, by the way, before you speak, ask yourself if what you are going to say is true, is kind, is necessary, and is helpful.
I love that quote.
Yep. If the answer is no, maybe what you're about to say should be left unsaid. And that was by Bernard Meltzer. So I think that's important for everybody to remember. Don't be bullied into doing things that are out of character because you're wanting to be accepted by the group. So many people want to be part of the group. And again, this is for kids or young adults. And man, be yourself. Don't worry about the group.
Be you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. You can't worry about yesterday or tomorrow. Be you today.
You know, I don't worry about December 23rd, 1978.
Was that the day you wore the quitters? First and last day, still worried about it, Dave. Wearing them quitters.
Well, it's time for our final thoughts, and since you guys keep bringing it up, I'll go first.
Rock and roll, Jim. Rock and
So
roll.
my final thought is about worrying about things that have not happened yet. And I'm sure we've all kind of went down this rabbit hole a little bit where there's this big what if, and we start to get nervous and anxiety, and you get like this pit in your stomach.
Every day.
Yeah, I think we have a High Road Holland on that.
Yeah, I mean, and this isn't to say don't be prepared and don't make smart moves for your future, because you still want to do that. But then there's problems that we worry about that it hasn't even happened yet, and it may not even go that way. And it's like you're doing all this worrying, and then that thing never happens, and it's like, wow, I could have saved all that anxiety for something else, right? Talking to my buddy Timmy, he said to me, well, we can't do anything about what happened yesterday. It's gone. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. We may not even wake up, right? All we really have is today and the moment that we're in. The Bible says, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own, and that's Matthew 6:34. So worrying about things that have not happened does you no good. Just bring yourself back into the present moment, stay grounded, and just deal with what you can today. That's my final thought.
Nice.
You know, in a way, you can do something about what happened yesterday. You know, like, say you did something stupid, right? You can correct that by changing your behavior today.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and so there are some things that you can, if you're disappointed with the outcome, or
you change.
yeah, exactly.
Make better decisions. Yeah. Yesterday I didn't post trip. Today I'm gonna.
You know, exactly.
Not going
right?
to beat myself up about it. I screwed up.
Yep.
I've learned a lesson. I'm going to move forward
Yep.
and start doing it from today here.
Right. So yesterday, I mean, it already happened.
Yeah.
That tire that was off the bead this morning, that was caused by something yesterday. We can't do anything about that.
Yep.
We can't change the fact that that tire was off the
flat
bead this morning, right? But we can worry about today
Yep.
and be like, you know what? I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it.
So
Yeah, but that's the whole argument, or the whole thing about it is we can't change yesterday.
No.
By you doing it today, Dave, you didn't change yesterday.
Right.
You changed today. That's the day you're in. And that's where
I'm not talking about changing it. I'm talking about
learning from it.
doing something
Yeah.
that will change. I don't want to use the word change.
Exactly.
But you're doing something about it. Okay, if I don't like the way yesterday ended up, I can do something about it today.
Yeah. Yeah. You can change the turnout.
Yesterday, a baby burnt his hand on the stove. We can't change that. He's got a third-degree
Burnt
burn
hand.
on his hand. But he learned. He ain't going to do it again tomorrow. right? So we can learn from our mistakes, but those mistakes, they've already caused the damage.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
who's next?
Dave, you want to go, or you want me to? I can go.
Man, I have this whole long frickin' article to read, and I've looked and looked and looked and looked how to condense it tonight.
Sounds like you're going, Jim.
Yeah. Well, I'd like him to end because it sounds like you have some holiday stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, just
So,
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering here. So this is, you guys have heard me for quite some time now. I complain about Senate Bill 260. It's a bill that Polis passed in 21. He stole all the money from our roads and bridges.
That's
And it's millions upon millions of dollars, billions over a 10-year scheme, right? You've heard me say 500 billion, and it is over a 10-year period because he's going to continue to take more money out of the roads and bridges as we continue down the road, right? It's not less, it's more. And what's cool about this article, and it just got sent to me this morning, so I haven't had a lot of time. I've read it, don't get me wrong, but I haven't had a lot of time to digest it and maybe pull pieces out and condense this. But what's brought it to a more global situation and a more national icon here for Colorado is the Blue Mesa Bridge that y'all know how to crack in it, and we had to close it. And that's a main thoroughfare through our mountain ways, right?
the Blue Mesa Bridge. Where's that at?
Blue Mesa outside of Gunnison.
Blue Mesa Reservoir.
Yeah, where you go over Blue Mesa Reservoir.
It's Highway 50.
Yes.
It's a
Oh,
huge
gotcha.
highway.
Right, massive secondary road, highway, right?
Yeah.
So, and this is so ironic, Jim. You're going to identify with this because last night, after we were all high fiving each other, drinking our beers outside the Commerce City Planning Commission in celebratory fashion.
No way.
Ed Jennings, our engineer that we were just bragging about, he just happens to say, "Hey, we were talking about how bad the roads are around here and whatnot," and he goes, "Have you guys been on I-70 East out to Kansas recently?" And Jim and I are like, "Well, no, we haven't been." And he goes, "I have a small motor home. Like I'm picturing a mini Winnie or something
Yeah.
like that, right?" And he
Yeah.
goes, "You guys, that road is so bad. I was worried it was jarring the equipment loose in my RV, like my refrigerator, my generator, like that
Really?
road is that bad." And I find this interesting. This is how the article starts. The name of the article is Blue Mesa Bridge is just the tip of the iceberg. And I promise I won't read this whole article, but
Read it.
there's no better example of Colorado's transportation challenges than traveling by vehicle over the Kansas state line on Interstate 70. Isn't that
Right.
ironic, Jim?
And
Ed just talks about it
we asked
yesterday.
him.
Yeah, here we are. The highway, a rutted, eroding patchwork of repairs on the Colorado side of the border, becomes glassy smooth and blemish-free on the Kansas side. How can this be? Colorado dwarfs Kansas in nearly every economic metric. It has nearly twice the population and a bigger per capita GDP. And that's gross domestic profit, in just so everyone realizes that, right? In 2023, Kansas's GDP was $226 million, while Colorado's was $520 million, so more than double. It should be a source of embarrassment for Coloradoans that we don't have good roads, especially because guess what? We're a heavy tourism state. We bring skiers in all winter. We have pot here all summer to show up. Oh, did I say pot? We have beautiful mountains to travel all summer and look at the leaves change and whatnot, just all sorts of great stuff. So visitors must wonder where our priorities are as they ooh and ah over the natural splendor and then grimace as they bounce through the potholes in our roads and highways and byways of Colorado. Colorado received a C- on its most recent infrastructure report card. According to the American Society of Civil Engineers, the state suffers from low investments in operation, maintenance, expansion, and innovation to Colorado's roadways, leading to as much as $2,306 in added vehicle costs per driver annually in the Denver metro area. Why we can't find a comparable figure for the Western Slope, it can't be far off the mark. Coloradoans everywhere pay a price for the lack of investment on roads. Why We all know why the roads are crummy. The state budget has little flexibility. That's not to say this is all a product of taxpayers' Bill of Rights. Voters have consistently rejected workarounds like issuing billions in bonds to fund statewide road projects without raising taxes. In 2021, Colorado lawmakers passed Senate Bill 260, a package of what they described as road user fees projected to raise $5.4 billion in the first 11 years to improve highways, boost transit systems, and expand the use of electric vehicles. But the legislation has been challenged by two groups who argued that some provisions of the law violate Tabor revenue and spending limits. Last April, a Denver district judge rejected the argument that elements of SB 260 required voter approval, but in a notice of appeal filed last month. And this is the judge's decision. Americans for Prosperity and 3 individuals told a state district court in Denver the revenue expected under SB 260 would far exceed the threshold requiring voter approval under Tabor, and the group said it would ask for the appeals court to overturn the judge's ruling dismissing the case, according to tax authority website Legal 360. How long the appeals process may take is anybody's guess, but the tension on display here pervades every attempt to fix the state's roads. The inconvenience of the bridge closure over Blue Mesa Reservoir is the latest example of why everyday Coloradoans should be receptive to transportation funding reform. The state has long been on a treadmill of addressing emergencies, never able to get far enough ahead to turn its attention to preventative maintenance. The assortment of fees under SB 260 would generate the resources the Colorado Department of Transportation needs to make a dent in the backlog of improvements. If SB 260 fee structure amounted to an extra $100 or $200 per year for the average motorist in Colorado, and then they put in parentheses, these fees are imposed on gas and diesel purchases, deliveries, and rideshare trips are included. Equalization fees for electric vehicles. That's a small price to pay to offset the $2,000 in extra transportation costs due to bad roads. If the appeal of SB 260 succeeds, forcing lawmakers back to the drawing board, drivers in this state would do well to signal a willingness to pay more in vehicle registration fees to fund road improvements, since they're already paying a heavy penalty for driving on embarrassingly bad roads. I kind of have to argue the last paragraph there a little bit. We've already paid. They took the funding. They put the funding into green energy, solar fields, wind turbines, all of that stuff. They haven't done a damn thing with our roads. So, but I would be willing to pay $100 or 200 more bucks, because what it would generate for us in work is millions upon millions.
Mm-hmm. And less repairs, Dave.
Right.
You know our trucks are breaking shit because, just like they said for a normal car, $2,000?
I mean, I drive Highway 7 between I-25 and Highway 85. I look drunk.
It's a mess.
I'm just weaving around pothole after pothole after pothole. You know, the best road I've been on is the newest edition of I-70 right down the road here.
Yeah.
From basically 2 1/4 or even Chambers all the way to, where did that end at? I-25?
I don't know. I told you the other day I was...
That you drive on that, and I was just bragging to Jim. We were just on it a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, this road's amazing. It's amazing. But I tell you what, you guys, we've all told you, you know, I just went back a couple months ago to see Sam, and we drove back there, and everyone knows that you cross that state line, you know you're on another road because the roads are great. You go any surrounding states, the roads are amazing.
Every single one. Kansas, Nebraska, Wyoming.
Yep.
I haven't been to Utah in a while,
Yes.
but I would bet that's about the same.
Yes. Yeah, I would love to put stickers on all our tailgates that announces to everyone, Polis stole your road monies. Ask him to give it back. Wouldn't you like to drive on a nice road? I sure would.
I sure would.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is Ann going to design that?
Pardon me?
Is Ann going to design that?
I said I'd love to. I don't know that we will.
Yeah, because I told Dave when we were talking about the roads that I was just in a road the other day. Where was it? And I was trying to think, and I was like, oh, yeah, it was up in Weld County, because they have a balanced budget. They have a surplus of money. They're one of the, I think, the only county, right, Dave? Or
They have
very
zero
few,
debt.
Yeah, they have zero debt.
Weld
The
County has zero debt. All of those county commissioners have gotten together. They paid cash for a new police department. They paid cash for a new city and county building. Their roads are in great conditions. They have a fabulous everything up there in Weld County.
And they don't have an exorbitant tax base either. You know?
And guess what? I don't think they have homeless.
Yeah. It's terrible.
It's a good county up there.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when Idaho, or I'm sorry, Oregon loses half of their state because those people are up there, you know, there's a 200-mile border from Idaho going west towards the coast of Oregon. Those people want to annex and become the new Idaho. I think when they pull that off, it's just going to open all sorts of doors. And hopefully we can all move to Weld County, still live in Colorado, but we'll be called the new Wyoming. Wouldn't that
Great.
be awesome? I would move to Weld County in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I'd love it.
Didn't
feel
Weld
good.
County want to be part of Wyoming a while
Yes.
ago? Yeah,
Yes.
I thought so.
Yeah. Sooner or later, someone will pull it off and it'll set precedents. You know, I don't want to leave Colorado. This is my home. This is where I live. I want to be here. I want to retire here.
Used to be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Always been proud of the state.
Yeah.
You know, it's tough to be that way. Or be that way anymore. That's the reason we need to vote and make a difference.
Have to make a difference. It's easy to give up and walk away. It's hard to stand and fight. And by God, we have to stand and fight. We got to keep fighting for what's right.
Yeah, kind of wanted to end my stuff on the Declaration of Independence. Obviously, you know, 1776, July 4th, you know, we have our independence from Great Britain, I believe it was. But the first part of the Declaration of Independence, I guess I feel like Dave's piece was pretty political. We talk about politics and what it means, and we try to sway your position and stuff like that. And, you know, when we have the debate we just had last week, we have Polis in power. We're looking at Biden and Trump, and, you know, the argument between Biden and Trump, and, you know, Biden's capacity to lead the country, and then you have Trump with
His rhetoric.
You know. But I wanted to read this from the Declaration of Independence, and for all of you to think about it. And I think, me personally, it leads me to probably vote more for Trump at this point than Biden. But you think about Polis. But let me read this section of the Declaration of Independence. This is how it starts off. And you guys have all heard this sentence, and I want everybody to kind of think about it and maybe reflect on it. But we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. You know, the truth there, the self-evidence, is what we talk about every day, is common sense. And that, because common sense is self-evident. And it's self-evident that all men are created equal. I love that line. And they are endowed by their Creator. They didn't say this God, that God. They didn't point any fingers. They didn't do anything. They said by their Creator. So whoever you believe in as being your Creator, it's that you have the endowment of that. You have that privilege. With certain unalienable rights. And I looked that up, and it was quite a section of what that means. So I challenge everybody to look that up, what it means. It's important. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So our forefathers wanted us to know that we are all created equal, that we're endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, and among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But then they go to say that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. So you need to catch that, you guys. The men deriving their powers from the consent of the governed. We're all the governed, you guys. We have to give the consent to the government, and we've lost that right. When Dave talks about Polis stealing the money, he's just doing what he wants. when you're talking about some of the decisions that Biden has made and the Democratic Party, I'm sorry to cite on this, is that they've made decisions that don't benefit us all, and they have to have our consent, and they no longer have our consent anymore, you guys. And if I look at Trump, no matter what his rhetoric is, no matter what he said, he's tried to make things better for the people without the government. He has called out the swamp. So keep that in mind if that helps you vote either way. So the consent of the government, the governed, and let me finish up here, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government. That's our right to vote, you guys. And I challenge you all that we have the right to abolish it and to institute a new government. I'm not saying having a civil war. I'm talking about getting out and voting for the best person that has your needs in mind, and laying its foundation on such principles as organizing its powers in such a form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. I mean, that was written, I don't know, I need to do the math, 1776, so 300 years, right?
I thought you weren't going politics.
Right? I tried not to, but here's what our forefathers wrote for us to believe in, and our birthday is tomorrow.
Right.
And they're telling it, they lead out with that we're created equal and we have rights, but that we have the right to abolish the government that no longer does what the people want. And I think that's important, and I think that's something as everybody ages, it becomes more important, because you may not have the money to retire because of what your government did.
Right.
There's all these rights that we're losing, guys, and
that ties right into the gun rights, Jim. I mean, that's to protect us from the government.
yes.
And now
yes.
the government wants to take the guns
Yes.
away, you know.
And I don't even know if this is in the First or Second Amendment. Obviously, it's the beginning of it. So what's the Second Amendment? Where's the piece for the guns?
The well-armed militia.
Yeah,
What
is
we're
that
talking
My right to bear arms.
Yeah.
is that like the second also? Is
2A.
that- 2A. Yeah, you're.
Second
I
Amendment.
knew that, Jim. I shouldn't even need to ask that.
That's all good.
That's the stuff that it's here, you guys. And unless we stand up as a people
Mm-hmm.
to face our governments, we're losing our rights. We're becoming
Our governments are designed to impose our will,
Yeah.
and they've lost our will. They get in there, and I need to look again. I think that's the purpose of the Core Essentials podcast, is to let everybody know what the latest and greatest bills and laws that had passed. I haven't fully talked to Paco about it. I should have just stopped what I was doing and cornered him more yesterday, but he was down at the Capitol Sunday for his church. Ran into several cool people there, had quite a conversation with Lauren Boebert, and he's like, she's a pretty cool chick, man. And I thought that was really cool. And he was just like, the guy that he was talking to says, you have no idea how many new laws and rules and regulations that were passed this year. And you guys, these are people that get in that position, and in order for them to make a name for themselves, they just create some crazy shit.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but anytime there's a new rule or a law, it's more money for you.
Yep.
It is more money added to your cost of living. They're not doing anything to lower our cost of living. Every new law, every new regulation, every new Clean Air Act, it is costing you out the wazoo. And the Clean Air Act has to stop. There has to be a line they draw somewhere, because we can't go to this. It's finally starting to come out. More and more people are finally starting to realize that an electric car doesn't solve our brown cloud or our climate change, because how are you charging that car? Oh, a coal-emitting electric plant, this, that, and the other, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad people are finally figuring it out. I've heard some new statistics about what it takes to create a battery for the electric cars, and I don't know whether that's true or not, so I'm not going to quote any of the stuff out of it, but it sounds horrible, right? We can't even make batteries here because It's so awful on the environment. The United
Right.
States doesn't even allow it.
That's why they make them all in China.
Right? China, India, Singapore,
Yeah.
all these places. We have all the environmental, or I'm sorry, the
Environmental safeties.
well, no, I mean we
Raw
have
materials?
thank you, Dave.
the
raw
raw-
materials. I
and
was
we have
trying to come
environmental
out with
safeties.
something and I couldn't think of it.
To do it better than anybody
But they won't
else.
allow us to do it, right? Because
Yeah.
it's so bad for the environment. It's like
Because I love
wake up. People.
I love the two pictures of like whatever our latest gas pipeline was, where there's this pipe through the forest and nothing's disturbed but the pipe, and you just see the pipe. I think
Right.
the pipe's even green and matches the trees. Then they show a lithium mine,
yeah,
and it's like acres and acres of this destruction.
right.
You know, but it's bad for the pipeline
Yeah.
and compared. But like you guys are both saying, the lithium's all done someplace else because it's too bad here. But you care about global
Yeah.
warming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna.
This-
Again,
I
you
mean,
know,
we
yeah, I'm glad it's not political, Jim, because you look
Really
at
stop.
Kansas, a red state, look at their roads, right? I'm going to switch because we're talking about power plants here. Wyoming is building a brand new power plant in Wyoming.
they got a nuclear plant.
A what?
Yeah,
A nuclear plant they're building up there. You even mentioned nuclear here in Colorado. Oh my God, the Dems would fall off their freaking little electric bikes and scooters because they all live downtown in a condensed area and they don't need cars. So, anyway, I love it. Another red state creating some clean energy out of something that just makes sense, right? They're not trying to do solar fields. They're not trying to do wind farms. I mean, we've already dealt with the fallout when, you know, before Fry sold last year. Al called me one morning. Jim and I were driving to work. It was like 4:30 in the morning. He's like, "Hey, we got no power up here at the quarry. Don't send any more trucks." He said, "We have enough to load like, I don't know, 40 trucks or whatever." We're like, "Okay." I talked to him later on that afternoon, and they didn't get power till like 11:30 or 1 o'clock or something like that. It's been long enough. I don't remember the exact time. And I was like, "Geez, Al, did a drunk guy coming out of the casino take out a power pole or something?" And he's like, "Oh no, XL didn't have any electricity." And I'm like, "What? What do you mean they didn't have any electricity?"
Ran out of electricity.
Yeah, so they're trying to guesstimate overnight how much wind
yeah.
they're going to get out east in like the Fort Morgan and further out east where all our wind farms are, how much wind is going to blow, so how much electricity they're going to generate to send the power back to here. And he goes, "The wind didn't blow last night, so XL didn't have any power for us."
Wow.
Welcome to the new regime, folks. You need to start voting.
It's because the grid wasn't designed for renewable energy.
Yeah.
It was designed for steady, continuous power coming from generating stations.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, everybody that accepted their smart meters, I hope you all have enjoyed your first price increase.
July 1st, right?
Yeah. Well, you've got one already. The second one is July 1st.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, because there's one that came in at prime time when we all get home from work, and they don't want us using it because they're using renewable energy for the power grid.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I opted out. So.
it absolutely, it's dirty, man. They played dirty and they pulled the wool over our eyes, and it's finally coming out and it's coming clear. So I hope we'll be able to reverse a lot of things when the right people get in the right seats. I just hope we can.
No doubt. So,
We done preaching?
you got any final thoughts other than your high road hauling?
Nope.
Jim, you all
Give
done?
True to yourself.
Give us something else, Dave, because we gotta get off the political thing.
Okay.
Got another political joke?
No, I just want everybody. Excuse me, I got a Joe
fraud.
Biden going on here.
Oh man.
So you know, everybody celebrates the 4th of July. Okay, that was the Declaration of Independence. Our independence was not realized until we signed the Treaty of Paris on September 3rd, 1783.
What?
The war went on for 8 years, and we finally kicked the British out with the Battle of Yorktown.
Yeah.
And so it was a very long, arduous, tough. I mean, we were, just talk about underdogs.
Yes, Dave.
We
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
we were unbelievable. The British at that point in history was the most feared and awesome army on the planet.
Yes.
We kicked their ass.
Yeah.
So
History
that's
should never
Amer-
be forgotten.
That's
Dave.
right. That's American spirit right there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Channel 23 podcast. Hit that follow button. Also, don't forget to go back and listen to episode 72 to help find Amber's mom. Links to her story will be in today's show notes. Have a happy 4th of July, everybody. Well, let's say the creed.
And have
How about
a
we
safe
say-
4th of July, too, everybody.
Yeah, happy 4th. I want to mention something, though, with tomorrow and the partying, the drinking, the beer, the celebrating, we've had some stupid things happen around here recently.
Yep.
And I just want to mention that be careful. You know better than that.
Make good decisions.
Make good decisions, and we've had some lives ruined, and you guys are better than that, and we're better than that, along with your own safety and the safety of others. It's a holiday where it's easy to have some beers
Yep.
and other stuff.
I'm just sitting here snickering, Jim, because I saw a dad joke on my Facebook page. And the guy, it's just a palm with a thumb and his thumbs up, and it says the 4th of July is my funnest holiday, and he's got no fingers.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, if you're doing fireworks, be safe. There's the other thing.
It's my favorite holiday.
Yeah.
Yep. Thumbs up.
Sorry, Jam. Go ahead, buddy. We gotta get out.
Oh, no, we're good. But we can say the creed in. Get on out.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Together we face and overcome all that stands before us.
Together we are accident-free. Together we joyfully create honest value for those we serve. Together we celebrate our differences and respect those with whom we work. Together we are accountable for our words and our actions. Together we are the JFW family.
All right, everybody. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th of July,
go
everybody.
America.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have
Thanks,
fun.
you guys.
Be careful.
safe.
Yep. Sounds good.
Are we going to do the Amber's podcast?
Already
did.
did it.
Oh, missed it. Sorry.
Thanks for being present.
No problem. I was in political days.
All we have is this moment, Dave.
What? It's already happened. I can't worry about it.
Next week.
Tomorrow's in the bag.
All right, everybody. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
Have a great holiday, everybody.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. Well, it's a family tradition, any Rocky Mountain day. Our fathers before us showed us the way. We work for asphalt cowboys and concrete kings, but that's never been a problem, 'cause we got diesel in our veins. We've got diesel in our veins. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. I hear there's a couple million tons to move. I see them everywhere. So you best get out their way and watch that sand and gravel disappear. There's another run to make. We gotta get it there on time. And we got what it takes to lay it all out on the line. We'll lay it all out on the line. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks got the best drivers in town. They got all the tools they need to keep that hammer down. When they hit them scales, they won't need to dodge them, won't need to duck them. They just keep that hammer down, and they keep that diesel trucking. Keep that hammer down, and keep that diesel trucking. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-looking for another load. They just keep them doors closed, keep them butts in their seats, 'cause those customers are calling, and those red trucks can't be beat. They've gotta put the hammer down and pick up another load. Get it off the ground, keep them eyes open and on the road. Keep them eyes open on the road. I see those big, bright, shiny red trucks just a-trucking down the road. Those big, bright, shiny red trucks just looking for another load. Breaker 23, anybody got a copy on that Channel 23 podcast? Welcome, and thanks for listening.